Chapter 2601 Weird Treasure. The Lord of Yuandu realized that Yi Tian's eyes had been staring at him, and his heart became more and more frightened. He was afraid that Yi Tian was really the bone transformation realm who was killed by him back then, so he would be finished. Lord of Yuandu, long time no see. Yi Tian opened his mouth, and the voice entered the ears of the Lord of Yuandu. This moment, the face of the master of Yuandu is ashes. Ji Yu Hengshan Lord like Yi Tian would definitely not know such a small person like him. Now Yi Tian called out his name directly, probably because he investigated him. So, the answer is about to come out. Yi Tian is the bone transformation realm who was killed by him. It is very likely that he killed a clone, so the real Yi Tian did not die and became a lord of Ji Yu Heng Mountain. Certainly, he still had a trace of hope at this moment, so he still gritted his teeth. I have seen the Lord. Now, the sect master and other elders of the Xuanling sect were very excited, and thought that the master of Yuandu and the master of Endless knew each other and had a very good relationship. Then, Zhonglingzong can join Guang Mountain 100%. But the next second, Zhonglingzong went up and down, and his face changed drastically. Boom! Yi Tian waved his hand, the Lord of Yuandu was grabbed by him without any resistance, and landed on the palm of his hand. Lord of Infinity, spare your life. The Lord of Yuandu begs for mercy. The sect master of the Xuanling sect, the master of the Dust Spirit, responded quickly. From now on, the master of Yuandu is no longer a member of the Xuanling sect, and is left to the disposal of the Lord. He was very straightforward and sold the Lord of Yuandu as soon as possible. Even if the Lord of Yuandu has some potential, and even has the hope of becoming the existence of the 8th bone transformation, it is dispensable for the Xuanling sect. It would be too innocent if Zhonglingzong lost the opportunity to join Guang Mountain because of the Lord of Yuandu. Thus, he must abandon the Lord of Yuandu. Yes, your Lord, the Lord of Yuandu has nothing to do with our Xuanling sect. One Xuanlingzong elder said quickly. Now, the master of Yuandu saw that the suzerain and elders of the Xuanling sect had abandoned him, and he was extremely sad. However, he also knew very well that the Xuanling sect couldn't offend Ji Yu Hengshan for him, and he couldn't afford to offend him. Master of Yuandu, when you killed my clone in order to snatch Kang Heju, I almost forgot. I didn't expect to meet you in Xuanlingzong today. Yi Tian said slightly. The suzerains and elders of the Xuanling sect learned that the Lord of Yuandu had killed the avatars of the Lord, and their faces changed drastically. This is not an ordinary offense. This is a great hatred. The Lord of Yuandu is going to die. They can't wait to slaughter the Lord of Yuandu immediately. Feeling that Yi Tian was really going to kill him, he kept begging for mercy, but to no avail. He wanted to escape, but even the void in Yi Tian's hands couldn't be broken, so he couldn't escape at all. Click! Yi Tian squeezed lightly, the void shattered, and the body of the Lord of Yuandu was annihilated together with the void in the palm of his hand. The Lord of Yuandu has fallen. Killing the Lord of Yuandu was just a small episode for him. He would not have other opinions on Xuanlingzong because of this matter. He still follows the normal procedure. If the Xuanling sect meets the standards of the affiliated forces of Ji Yu Hengshan and is qualified to join, he will agree. But if Zhonglingzong is not qualified, then he will give up directly. Yi Tian sat on the throne, accompanied by the suzerain and elders of the Xuanling sect. Don't worry, the matter of the Lord of Yuandu will not affect your evaluation. According to the regulations of Ji Yu Hengshan, your Xuanling sect must show that it meets the standards of our ancient Hengshan, in order to be eligible to join Guangshan and become an affiliated force. Yi Tian said. The Lord of Dust Spirit hurriedly said, My lord, this is the strength of our Xuanling sect and the distribution of resources. He took out a document and handed it to Yi Tian. Yi Tian took a look and found that the strength and resources of Zhonglingzong were not bad. But it still looks ordinary, nothing special. If that's not enough, you understand. Yi Tian said, I understand. The Lord of Dust Spirit nodded, but our Xuanling sect still has a special place, and we can dedicate this special treasure to Ji Yu Heng Mountain as a condition for joining Ji Yu Heng Mountain. Treasure. Yi Tian was a little curious. Also ask your lord to come with us. Subsequently, the Dust Spirit went to a treasure somewhere. They have been shuttled, and it took a while, and they came to an area close to the Yuhe River. Your Highness, it's here. The Lord of Dust Spirit pointed to a dark area in the distance and said. Come on, let's go in together. Yi Tian said. Whoa whoa whoa. A bone transfiguration entered this treasure. At this time, the Lord of Dust Spirit reminded. My lord, this treasure is a bit special and dangerous. As for the special point, once you enter here, the boundless will be sealed, and the power of the boundless will cannot be exerted, which will make it difficult for us to control our own body, and it is difficult to exert our strength. The Lord of the Dust Spirit said. Boom! As soon as they entered this treasure land, the boundless wills of the bone transformation realm were sealed, and they suddenly felt that their bodies were extremely heavy. Yi Tian moved his body and felt that it was difficult to exert his strength. Both speed and strength are greatly reduced. This is the result of the immeasurable will being sealed. What a quirky place, Yi Tian secretly said. At this time, the Lord of the Dust Spirit said, My lord, this treasure land was born not long ago, and there are not many resources at present, but as long as the resources are found, it will have the effect of improving the boundless will, and the effect of permanently improving the perception, but it is just a boost. Not much. We only dare to explore the outer periphery, and we haven't yet dared to explore the inner periphery. Before, one of our 8 bone transformations tried to explore the inner Hao periphery, but was killed by the creatures inside. Actually, the creatures here are not strong, but our boundless will is sealed, and our strength cannot be exerted. Once besieged, no matter how strong the body is, it will be besieged and consumed to death. Heard here, Yi Tian felt that this treasure land was not easy. He had never seen such a bizarre treasure. The key is that he is a genius at the other side of the 8 bone transformation realm, and even he can't compete with the rules here, and the boundless will is still sealed, unable to mobilize the slightest. Now, he can only rely on the instinct of the flesh to control the flesh to fight, and naturally there is not much strength to display. Unexpected, a black giant ape appeared and killed it. It's the Heiyuan giant ape, Lord Venerable, let's go out immediately. It should be because the number of bone transformation realms that came in this time is too large, which caused the attack of these creatures. The Lord of Dust Spirit hurriedly shouted Daoguang. Chapter 2602 Explore Special Treasures. The Lord of the Dust Spirit is very aware of the strength of the Heiyuan giant ape. If it is outside, he will not pay attention to it at all, and he can stab it to death with a single finger. However, in this special treasure land, the strength of his 9 bone transformations cannot beat this black abyss giant ape. If he didn't escape, even if he could save his life, some of the elders of the Xuanling sect would have fallen, and some of the envoys of Jiyu Hengshan brought by Yi Tian would have to fall too. In case Yi Tian falls, Zonlingzong will be miserable. No problem, Yi Tian waved his hand, and immediately he walked towards the black abyss giant ape. The face of the Lord of Dust Spirit changed, and he wanted to stop it, but it was too late. But he didn't dare to leave anymore. If Yi Tian encountered danger, he must go up to rescue. He knew that Yi Tian was a genius of the other side of the ancient Hang Mountain, but in this special treasure land, once he couldn't mobilize his boundless will, it would be difficult for him to exert his supernatural powers, and his combat power would be very weak. Therefore, Yi Tian may also fall. But soon, he was no longer worried. Boom! Yi Tian was filled with countless golden lights, covering the whole body. This is his doing his best to inspire the golden body on the other side. Even though the boundless will was sealed, he still relied on the instinct of the flesh to burst out part of the power of the golden body on the other side. Boom! Yi Tian and the Heiyuan giant ape fought together, and the two sides collided directly. I saw that the Heiyuan giant ape was directly hit and flew out, and the whole body was cracked. Golden mansions on the other shore. A faint golden glow erupted in Yi Tian's hand, and immediately a finger penetrated the body of the black abyss giant ape. Soon, the black abyss giant ape was killed by him. Your Majesty is invincible, the Lord of the Dust Spirit exclaimed. If he hadn't guessed wrongly, the golden body on the other side of the Endless Lord would be a whole body, which is many times more powerful than the Lord of Ancient Emptiness and the Lord of True Extremity. He has never seen a genius with a golden body on the other side. In this way, with the other side's supernatural powers, wouldn't it directly slap other side level geniuses? The Infinity Lord of Jiyu Hengshan is too enchanting, no wonder he has a very good reputation recently, and his growth rate is too fast. Fortunately, he didn't care about the Yuandu Lord, otherwise he could destroy me just by relying on Infinity Lord's own strength. CJFJ, let's Zonlingzong. The Lord of Dust Spirit secretly said. After killing the Black Abyss giant ape, Yi Tian did not continue to explore. Although there are not too many resources in this treasure land, it is indeed very interesting. At that time, it can be used to sharpen its combat effectiveness. I will report it to Jiyu Heng Mountain. If there is no accident, I can let you join Jiyu Heng Mountain. Yi Tian said. Thank you, Lord, the Lord of the Dust Spirit and the elders of the Xuanling sect said excitedly. Subsequently, Yi Tian left from here and returned to Guang Mountain. Ancient Hengtian, Yi Tian told the Lord of Eternal Zero about this matter, but the Lord of Eternal Zero did not show up and agreed directly. After all, this is just a small matter, Yi Tian can call the shots himself. That's it. Zhang Lingzong joined Jiyuheng Mountain and became one of the affiliated forces under Jiyuheng Mountain. And Jiyu Hengshan also announced the news. In this way, the hostile forces of Xuanlingzong will not attack Xuanlingzong, otherwise it will not give Jiyu Hengshan face. In the area of Blood Flame Domain, Jiyu Hengshan, Ancient Monster Sea, True Beast Alliance, and Taidu Realm are the four well-deserved overlords, so other forces still dare not offend these four overlords. After Xuanlingzong joined Jiyuheng Mountain, that special treasure land also belonged to Jiyuheng Mountain. Yi Tian dispatched several envoys and some inspectors to be stationed here, and he himself entered here, ready to go in and explore. He always felt that this treasure land was very difficult, and maybe it gave birth to very rare treasure resources. At present, the other high-level officials of Jiyu Hengshan still do not understand the value of this place, and the powerhouses of Xuanlingzong do not have the strength to enter the inner circle to explore. Thus, this is his chance. After the special treasure, Yi Tian entered here again, and then went directly to the depths of the treasure land. Along the way, he encountered creatures one after another, and he killed them all. Certainly, the closer you get to the depths, the stronger the creatures you encounter, and there are many creatures that are comparable to the Black Abyss giant ape. Soon, he came to the inner area of this treasure. Sudden, a black mist dragon appeared. Yi Tian fought against him, but was beaten very badly. The power of this black fog dragon is very powerful, the key is to offset the attack power. And Yi Tian's boundless will was sealed, and his strength could not be exerted. Just relying on the golden body of the other shore and the golden body of the other shore that could not exert its power, could not kill the opponent at all. He felt that a special creature was coming, and left immediately. No wonder Xuanlingzong's 8 bone transformations broke into the inner circle and died. Even if he didn't enter the inner circle, he would be killed when he encountered the Black Abyss giant ape. When he got to the inner circle, the Lord of Dust Spirits would fall. Yi Tian thought so. However, he still had to go in and find some resources. If it is on the outside, it is definitely not good. It is estimated that it has some resources, and it was also taken away by Xuanlingzong. On my own, it is really difficult to enter this treasure land, unless I can break the rules of this treasure land and exert the power of boundless will, otherwise I can only use another method. The method Yi Tian thought of was to use the ability to copy talent to copy the body of a Heiyuan giant ape, and use the Heiyuan giant ape's body to act here. Thus, he can also lift the body of the Heiyuan giant ape to exert the power of the other side's supernatural powers, and then he can hang those black mist giant dragons. Copy. The body of a Heiyuan giant ape was quickly copied. Then, Yi Tian took advantage of the Heiyuan giant ape's body to practice, and mastered the technique of the ancient times and the supernatural powers of the other side, which made the strength of this replica body skyrocket wildly. And, the cloned body of this Black Abyss can indeed exert the power of will, but the power of will is also very weak, but at least it can be used. Afterwards, he used the Heiyuan giant ape to copy the body to the inner area of this treasure. In a short time, he encountered a black mist dragon again. But this black mist giant dragon did not attack Yi Tian, but drove Yi Tian away. It was obviously showing that this was its territory and Yi Tian was not allowed to come over. Boom! Yi Tian shot directly, and used the technique of the other shore's supernatural power to directly explode the body of the black mist giant dragon, blowing it up again and again. Soon, the black mist dragon was completely killed. See if there's anything good around here, Yi Tian secretly said. Chapter 2603 The Will of the Origin Realm. After killing the Black Mist Dragon, Yi Tian began to look for resources nearby. Soon, he really found something good. What is this? He saw a purple-red grass, which contained very powerful energy, but this energy seemed to be sealed, so the appearance looked a bit ordinary. He collected this resource and continued to search. Subsequently, he found grass or flowers similar to this treasure resource and collected them all. Then, he left here and sent these resources out. Beyond this treasure, in a palace that was only recently built, a copy of Yi Tian's real body stayed here, with these special resources in his hands. At this time, the energy of these resources erupted, each one containing terrifying energy. If he hadn't suppressed the energy, it would definitely permeate the surrounding territory, causing many peeps from the bone transformation realm. These resources should be newly born resources, not suitable for conventional resources, and there is no record of ancient Hengtian. As for the use, you can only try to refine it yourself to try the effect. He is not worried that these resources will hurt his body, and most of them will be replaced with a duplicate body. Immediately, he swallowed a blade of grass and began refining it. While refining and feeling its effect, deduce its use. In this way, the deduction is accurate and there will be no mistakes. Time passed slowly, the effect of this grass gradually came out, and its specific role was also deduced by him. It can temper infinite will, and it can also slightly improve understanding. 1. Yi Tian was surprised. The point is, this is not a temporary improvement of understanding, but a permanent improvement of understanding. In this way, the value of this resource is very high. After that, he tried to refine other resources, and found that the effects were similar, and they could both refine the boundless will and improve the perception. The point is, it works for him. He is a genius at the other side of the 8 bone transformations, and being able to have an effect on him shows the preciousness of these resources. Before the other powerhouses don't know the value of this treasure, they have to get the resources out. Otherwise, if it is really exposed, not only the venerable masters of Guang Mountain will come to snatch it, but even the deputy mountain masters will be interested. Once it spreads out, it will also cause other forces to snatch it. Yi Tian secretly said. Therefore, he plans to swallow it himself, and then give some resources to Jiyu Hengshan after the event. That's enough. Anyway, if other bone transformation realm wants to enter this treasure land, it will be very dangerous. Even the other level genius of the 9 bone transformation realm cannot enter the inner area, otherwise it will be easy to fall. Therefore, it is only suitable for him to enter. But whether the origin realm can resist the rules here, he is not clear. After all, he is not the origin realm. This clone of his real body is refining these resources, while his cloned body of the Black Abyss giant ape continues to explore the inner area of the treasure land. In the inner area of this treasure land, there are many powerful creatures, similar to the Black Mist Dragon. And Yi Tian relied on the advantage of the Heiyuan giant ape's body to replicate, and the strength displayed was very powerful, so he killed these creatures one by one, and then took the time to find those resources and brought them all out. Therefore, he is not short of these resources now, and he can refine these resources to the fullest. As time passed, Yi Tian's boundless will became stronger and stronger, and his comprehension also became higher and higher. The strength of the boundless will still has a great influence on the combat effectiveness. For example, the technique of other sure supernatural powers also requires the blessing of immeasurable will. If the immeasurable will is very strong, the power of the other side supernatural powers will naturally be stronger. But, at his level, the boundless will is difficult to improve, and the gap between them will not be too big. Therefore, a genius like him on the other side of the bone transformation realm will not focus on improving the boundless will, because it is too waste of time and energy, and the final effect is not good. It is difficult to improve the boundless will. But this time is different. These resources are used to improve the boundless will, the effect is very good, and it can also improve the understanding. He naturally wants to refine these resources frantically to improve his boundless will and understanding. As the long years passed, Yi Tian's immeasurable will has increased twice, 3 times, 5 times. Finally, on this day, his boundless will seemed to have reached a certain limit. Could it be that my boundless will is about to reach the level of the will of the origin realm? Yi Tian said in shock. The will can break through the shackles of the realm. For example, he has not broken through to the original realm, but the will can break through to this realm. There is a precedent for this in the land of eternity. However, it is extremely difficult to achieve this step. According to rumors, when the Lord of Chaos was in the 9 bone transformation realm, his will was raised to the will of the origin realm. But how to do it, the other powerhouses are not clear. But now, Yi Tian has some guesses. Perhaps the Lord of Chaos also found a resource similar to this, and then relied on massive resources to raise his will to the level of the will of the origin realm. Yi Tian guessed. And once the will breaks through to the will of the origin realm, his strength will be greatly improved, whether it is physical strength, or the other side of the supernatural power, the other side of the golden body, can play a more powerful effect and power. However, it is naturally very difficult to really break through to the will of the origin realm. He has refined these resources, but has never been able to break through. It should be that some resources are not enough, and you need more top-level resources to help your will to break through. Yi Tian secretly said. Therefore, he plans to let the Black Abyss giant ape replicate its body and continue to penetrate into the core area of the treasure land, where there will definitely be more precious special resources. Then, he did just that. The core area of the treasure land. Yi Tian came here, and just after entering this area, a terrifying aura came. No, it's the power of will of terror. In this place where immeasurable wills are sealed, the opponent can burst out such terrifying willpower, which is absolutely extremely rare. It can be seen how powerful his own will is, and it may even reach the level of the will of the origin realm. Certainly, even so, these creatures do not know the magic of the other side, so he still has hope of defeating them. Boom! Yi Tian broke into the territory of a black mist true wolf and fought with the opponent. The will of this black fog real wolf is very terrifying, so the fighting power that erupts is naturally extremely powerful. Moreover, the opponent's body is extremely tough and strong. Yi Tian relied on the supernatural powers of the other side to fight a lot with the opponent, and then he killed the opponent and occupied the corpse in this area. Chapter 2604 Will Breakthrough. After killing the black mist true wolf, Yi Tian began to look for resources in the area where it was located. Before long, he found a black lake. There are some black lotuses growing on this black lake. These black lotuses, Yi Tian recognized at a glance that these black lotuses are not simple, they are definitely good things, and it may help him to improve his boundless will and impact the will of the origin realm. So, he collected these black lotuses. These black lotuses are rooted in this lake, and once taken away, the roots will break. He could see that the lotus seeds of these black lotuses were eaten, so the black mist real wolf deliberately kept these black lotuses, just to eat its lotus seeds, and this kind of lotus seeds could continue to be bred. Therefore, as long as the black lotus is not eaten, there will be a steady stream of lotus seeds. But Yi Tian didn't have the time to wait here slowly, naturally he was serving 373 in one pot. After taking these black lotuses, he sent them out and handed them over to the real body to duplicate the body. Subsequently, he took out a black lotus petal and ate it to deduce its effect. Sure enough, it can improve immeasurable will, and it can also improve comprehension, and even the effect is quite good. Yi Tian was extremely pleasantly surprised. Instead of continuing to practice, he kept it. These black lotuses are not necessarily enough for him to break through, so it is the best choice to wait for more resources to be collected, and then to attack the will of the origin realm in one breath. Special Treasure Land Core Area. Yi Tian's Heian giant ape clone continued to move forward, and entered another creature's territory. After fighting with it, he also killed it. Afterwards, he found some resources and took them out. In this way, he collected more high-grade special resources. After a period of time, Yi Tian finally decided to impact the will of the origin realm. He took out those black lotuses and other resources, swallowed them in one gulp, and began to frantically refine them. Boom! The steady stream of energy tempered his boundless will and improved his understanding. The shackles of the will are hit again and again. I don't know how long has passed. Crack! The bottleneck of the will in the dark was cracked, just like the previous false world was cracked, and a higher world was seen. Another moment passed. Boom! The shackles of will were completely shattered. At this time, Yi Tian's boundless will evolved into the will of the origin realm, and the quality of the will is rapidly improving, becoming more and more powerful. After many years, the transformation of will is over. At this time, one strand of his will is equivalent to dozens of strands of will in the past. This is the evolution and sublimation of the will. The will of the origin realm is indeed much stronger than the previous boundless will. Yi Tian said excitedly, and as his will has risen to the will of the origin realm, the strength he can exert is naturally even more terrifying. He tried it, and he was able to explode the more terrifying power of the other side's golden body and the other side's supernatural powers. Subsequently, he continued to refine the remaining resources, and there were still some effects, but the effect was not too obvious. It took a lot of resources to have a significant improvement, and that was enough. In the following years, he continued to collect the resources in the treasure land, striving to acquire all the resources in it. At that time, he will reveal the situation to Ji Yu Hengshan again. Before you know it, long years have passed. This day, Yi Tian's cloned body of the Black Abyss giant ape has already reached the core area of this treasure land. Many creatures were either killed by him or driven away by him. Moreover, many resources have been scraped by him, and there may be leakage resources but definitely not many. After all, he relied on the long years to slowly search and scrape, and naturally he missed very little. Boom! After Yi Tian fought with a creature in the core area for a long time, he finally killed it, and found a lot of resources here. And here, he found a fragment of origin. I didn't expect that there is also a piece of origin here. Yi Tian was quite surprised. Then, it was here that he began to comprehend the rules of origin. What he actually wanted to comprehend was the origin rules of the other shore, but it was very difficult to really comprehend it. However, if you comprehend this kind of source fragment, even if you can't understand the source rules of the other side, it is still very good to improve the ordinary rules. In the following years, he was here to comprehend and cultivate. One immemorial era has passed. Before you know it, tens of thousands of years have passed. This day, click, this piece of origin fragment was also consumed by him and turned into powder. I still haven't comprehended the source rules of the other shore, but I have comprehended a lot of ordinary source rules, and my realm has improved. Yi Tian secretly said, this time the improvement is more than the last time, I don't know how much, maybe the understanding has improved a lot, which leads to a much better effect of enlightenment. Ancient Hengshan, Yi Tian came to find the Lord of Eternal Zero. When the Lord of Eternal Zero saw Yi Tian, his face was incomparably shocked, and he actually sensed the faint aura of origin realm will from Yi Tian. Although Yi Tian was trying his best to cover up, he definitely did not sense the error. Lord of Endless, your will has reached the will of the origin realm. The Lord of Eternal Zero asked in shock. Yes, Yi Tian nodded. How did you do it? The Lord of Eternal Zero asked suspiciously. Subsequently, Yi Tian talked about the situation of that special treasure, saying that he had found some resources, improved his immeasurable will and understanding, and then made a breakthrough. What? That treasure land still has such precious resources. The Lord of Eternal Zero was shocked. These are some of the resources I found. 1. He took out some peripheral resources, not a lot, but enough for crossover. The Lord of Eternal Zero used a material and sensed it. It does improve willpower, but it's not very useful to me. 5.9. The Lord of Eternal Zero. Afterwards, he followed Yi Tian to see that treasured land, and he wanted to go over to see it. Subsequently, Yi Tian entered this treasure land with the Lord of Eternal Zero. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. As soon as the Lord of Eternal Zero entered this treasure land, his boundless will was completely sealed, which made his complexion change. This treasure land can even seal his origin realm will. Although he knew the rules of this treasure land from Yi Tian's mouth, he did not expect that his origin realm will can be sealed and completely unable to resist. With the immeasurable will of the origin realm being sealed, his physical body became extremely heavy and difficult to control, and the strength he exerted was naturally extremely weak. Subsequently, he went deep into this treasure to explore. Soon, he encountered a black abyss giant ape. As a result, embarrassing things happened. Chapter 2605 Build the Tailing Origin Array. The Lord of Eternal Zero originally thought that he could slap the black abyss to death, but he did not slap the other party to death. Although he is the ancestor of the origin realm, his body is extremely powerful, but the will of the origin realm is sealed, unable to exert his strength, and he does not know the magic of the other side, only the ancient technique. Moreover, he just didn't even use the ancient technique, he just used the ordinary technique, so he didn't kill the black abyss giant ape. Boom! The Lord of Eternal Zero really took action and used the ancient technique to kill the black abyss giant ape. After, the Lord of Eternal Zero wandered around this treasure again and came to the inner area. And here, Yi Tian did not kill all the creatures. Therefore, the Lord of Eternal Zero encountered a black mist dragon, and after fighting with it for a long time, he couldn't help the other party. In desperation, the Lord of Eternal Zero withdrew. This special treasure is very strange. Even the will of the origin realm can be sealed. Without the help of the will, we can't even control the physical body, and we can't exert our strength. It is difficult to enter the 29 core area. The Lord of Eternal Zero said. Yi Tian nodded and didn't say much. And the Lord of Eternal Zero did not take any risks. If he fell on this treasure, it would be too wrong. Besides, the resources inside are of no use to him, so there is no need for him to break in. Furthermore, except for the other side level geniuses like Origin and Yi Tian, other bone transformation realms simply cannot fight against the black mist giant dragon, and they will be killed in an instant. Certainly, they will also tell those venerable masters about the situation of this treasured land. If anyone wants to go in, then go in and try, and he will not stop it. Soon, the other lords of Guang Mountain knew the benefits of this treasured place and were going to go in to see them, but one by one they escaped from heavy damage and almost died. The point is, they didn't find any resources. If there are many benefits, they will definitely find a way to take risks. But without seeing the beneficial resources, they gradually gave up. Cultivation is 8 times of bone transformation, and it is difficult to upgrade to 9 bone transformations in a short period of time. The will has reached the will of the original state, and the resources in the treasure land have also been refined a lot, and it is difficult to continue to improve. 1. The other side of the golden body is completely whole body, and it is a complete other side of the golden body, there is no way to continue to improve. Even if you create a few more sects of the other side of the supernatural powers, there is no way to improve your strength. My current cultivation has reached a limit. Yi Tian muttered to himself. He feels that if he wants to greatly improve his strength now, it seems that he can only comprehend the rules of the origin of the other side. You have to use the high-quality eternal ancient gold to build a magic circle, and face the origin of the eternal land, only then can you cultivate and realize the rules of the origin of the other shore. 1. And if you want to do this, you must have such a method of building a magic circle. And Jiyu Hengshan has such a formation. Then, Yi Tian went to find the Lord of Eternal Zero. In the ancient Heng Mountain, only the deputy mountain master can exchange for such a magic circle, and there is no way to exchange resources. The Lord of Eternal Zero saw Yi Tian came and asked, "The Lord of Endless, what's the matter?" Yi Tian immediately said, "Lord of Eternal Zero, I want to exchange for an origin magic circle." The origin magic circle is the magic circle he wants to build, and the above class eternal ancient gold is the basic material plus some other precious materials. You want to exchange the origin magic circle? The Lord of Eternal Zero was a little surprised, but thinking about it carefully, Yi Tian's growth rate is too fast, and it is more reasonable to exchange the origin magic circle now. However, he said, "Lord of the Endless, you exchanged for the source array, but Jiyu Hengshan does not have much high-quality eternal ancient gold now, you are afraid that you will not be able to successfully build it." Lord of Eternal Zero, I will collect high-quality eternal ancient gold myself. Yi Tian said. Seeing this, the Lord of Eternal Zero said nothing. Then, he asked, Jiyu Hengshan has a total of 6 origin magic circles, of which the lowest level origin magic circle requires 1,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold, without one piece it cannot be constructed as a source magic circle. Once the magic circle is built, it can last for 100 primordial era time. The highest source magic circle requires 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold. Lord of Eternal Zero, in this way, the highest source array is more cost-effective. Yi Tian said. Yeah, the Lord of Eternal Zero nodded. The highest source array is indeed worthwhile, but it is still easy to collect 1,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold, and you can collect 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold. It is very difficult. Therefore, most of the ancestors of the origin realm, once they have collected 1,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold, they will go to build a magic circle, and they will not continue to collect high-quality eternal ancient gold, delaying the time. Right, Yi Tian nodded. Afterwards, he directly stated that he wanted to exchange the highest level origin magic circle. Lord of Eternal Zero, I want the most advanced origin magic circle. The Lord of Eternal Zero did not refuse either, and soon got the inheritance of the magic circle from the ancient Hengshan treasure house and handed it over to Yi Tian. As for the contribution value of exchanging this magic circle, it was naturally deducted directly from Yi Tian's contribution value. Tai Ling Yuan formation. After obtaining this origin magic circle, Yi Tian left. After going back, he was ready to set up 373 inches. Unfortunately, this kind of origin magic circle can only protect one person's comprehension of the origin of the eternal land, and one more person cannot protect it. Yi Tian muttered. Otherwise, he really wants to build a origin law formation, and let the bone transformation realm from the race come to comprehend it. Maybe some insights will be beneficial to future cultivation. But it can't be done. The next days, he purchased the materials needed to build the tailing origin magic formation from various channels. The inheritance is recorded in the above, and it is not incomparably rare. It is easier to collect than the first-class eternal ancient gold. Therefore, it only took him a while to successfully collect all the materials needed for tailing's origin formation. Start arranging the tailing origin formation. Yi Tian was built on Guang Mountain, so it was more secure, and no one would come to disturb him. If it is built in the seam of the territorial sea, if he is sensed by a origin realm heavenly ancestor, he will be driven away directly and occupy the tailing origin formation. He will cry without tears, and even involve the human race. Therefore, it is the best choice to build the array in Guang Mountain. Piece after piece of high-quality eternal ancient gold was taken out by Yi Tian, and with other materials, it began to be integrated into the formation base, and the formation was slowly built according to the method of tailing's original formation. Chapter 2606 Comprehend the rules of the origin of the other shore. In the blink of an eye, 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold, plus other precious materials, were all integrated into the magic circle. Finally, the tailing origin array was built successfully. Nailed it! Yi Tian was very excited. As long as this tailing origin formation was opened, he could face the origin of the eternal other side, and thus slowly comprehend the rules of the origin of the other side. Even if the 500 primordial era cannot be comprehended, then rebuild a tailing origin formation and continue to comprehend. After Yi Tian had this plan, he directly opened the tailing origin formation. Boom! The tailing origin formation was activated. Click! The power of the tailing origin formation runs through the infinite void, straight to the source of the eternal other side, and the energy of that piece of high-quality eternal ancient gold is slowly being consumed, will be completely scrapped. Ancient Hengshan, the Lord of Eternal Zero, sensed the fluctuation of the tailing origin formation and was immediately alarmed. This is. The Lord of Eternal Zero immediately appeared at the place where Yi Tian retreated. It's the origin magic circle. He knew that this was Yi Tian's residence, that is to say, Yi Tian built the tailing origin formation. How is this possible? The tailing origin formation requires 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold. The entire ancient Hengshan can't collect so much high-quality eternal ancient gold. Where did the infinite Lord get so much fine eternal gold? He didn't quite understand. Swish! The other deputy mountain masters also came one by one, and even the master of Ji Yu Heng also came. This is the origin magic circle. Who built it? The Lord of Ji Yu Heng asked. This is the residence of the Infinity Lord. Could it be the Infinity Lord? A deputy mountain owner asked in surprise. The Lord of Eternal Zero nodded. Everyone, it should be the original circle built by the Lord of Endless. Not long ago, he exchanged the inheritance of the tailing original circle with me, and it was built so quickly. What? This is the tailing origin formation. No wonder it fluctuates so much. Isn't that consuming 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold? These deputy mountain masters were stunned and shocked. That's 3,600 pieces of high-grade eternal ancient gold. They couldn't get it together, but Yi Tian got it together so quickly. How did this happen? They are so puzzled. At the beginning, in order to collect 1,000 high-quality eternal ancient gold, they also used a long time, piece by piece of high-quality eternal ancient gold, and they also collected an unknown number of ancient eras before they finally came together. Then, there were still some opportunities, and I was lucky enough to realize the ordinary origin rules, thus breaking through to the origin realm. It was quite the hardships at the beginning, and when they compared the Infinity Lord again, they suddenly became a little envious. The Endless Lord easily took out 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold. Will he have more high-quality eternal ancient gold? The Lord of Guang murmured. Even if there is, he can't take it out for a deal. The Lord of Eternal Zero shook his head and said. How precious is the high-quality eternal gold, no one will dislike it. He is the master of Ji Yu Heng Mountain, I am the mountain master, and you are the deputy mountain masters, he should give some face. Said the master of Ji Yu Heng. And the Lord of Eternal Zero hurriedly said. The Lord of the Mountain, the Lord of Endless is not an ordinary genius of the other side, he has already completed the transformation of the golden body of the other side, and he has practiced the heart of the other side, the golden blood of the other side, the golden bone of the other side, and the other side's golden body. The same as the Lord of Chaos at the beginning. Not only that, but his current will has reached the will of the origin realm. The current combat power alone is comparable to the other level genius of the 9-bone transformation realm. The weaker origin realm heavenly ancestor capital he can't easily kill him, and he will even escape him. And once he understands the rules of the origin of the other side, there will be no obstacles to becoming the ancestor of the origin realm in the future. Therefore, we can't treat him according to the bone transformation realm. As long as he does not fall, the future will surely surpass us. The Lord of Ji Yu Heng frowned, and he also knew that the Lord of Eternal Zero made a lot of sense. It is true that the Endless Lord is the venerable Lord of Ji Yu Heng Mountain, but once he deliberately offends him, it is not a good thing. When he gets out of the customs, I will ask him where he got the high-quality eternal gold. This is the head office, maybe he has found a brand new treasure land. If I can enter that treasure land, maybe there is hope to get it too. What about the first-class eternal ancient gold? The Lord of Ji Yu Heng said. That's okay to ask. The Lord of Eternal Zero nodded slightly. Within the tailing origin formation, Yi Tian stood here, and the void in front of him presented the origin of the land of eternity. And that source is like an unimaginable golden sun, shining in endless time and space, but it is not actually a big sun, but a condensed body of the source. At this time, Yi Tian noticed that there were some cracks in the golden Japanese source, and it was obvious that he had been injured and had not recovered yet. Quote, "The source fragments in those treasures should have fallen out of the cracks. Perhaps there was an incomparably terrifying powerhouse who fought in the source of the eternal land, which caused such a crack." Yi Tian guessed. He tried to get close to the source of the eternal beyond, but an invisible force overwhelmed him, preventing him from moving forward. "You can only stay here for enlightenment, you can't continue to approach, but you can." He sat cross-legged and began to comprehend the origin of the land of eternity. Compared with before, his comprehension has improved a lot now, so the effect of comprehension is better. Subsequently, he began the long years of enlightenment. One immemorial era has passed, Yi Tian has been comprehending and has no other thoughts. Gradually, he had a little insight into the rules of the origin of the other side. There is a big gap between the ordinary source rules and the other side source rules, and the ordinary source rules are equivalent to the ultra-weakened version of the other side source rules. In addition, Yi Tian also discovered that He Good Jiao Hao, Bian Jinwen and Bian Haiwen are actually the derivation of the original rules of the other side. And he understood a lot of the other side of the golden text, the other side of the black text. It is also helpful for him to understand the origin of the other side of the rules. However, in the 500 primordial era, whether he can comprehend the rules of the origin of the other side is really uncertain. Of course, he hoped that he could realize it. Time flies, and before you know it, more than 400 years of the primordial era have passed. This day, boom, a more powerful source rule permeated Yi Tian, directly engulfing the previous source rule. The other side of the source rules, I understand. Yi Tian burst out laughing. Now, the biggest problem restricting his breakthrough to the origin realm has been solved. As long as his cultivation base reaches the pinnacle of the 9-bone transformation realm in the future, he can directly hit the origin realm without any bottleneck. Chapter 2607 Windfang Island. After comprehending the source rules of the other shore, Yi Tian continued to comprehend here. After all, there are still dozens of primordial era time, and it can't be wasted. Therefore, continuing to comprehend the origin of the eternal other side can also increase the realm of the origin rules of the other side. However, it is too difficult to improve the realm of the source rules of the other side. It may be that after a long period of hard work, the realm will improve a little. But as the realm of the other side's source rules improves, the strength will become stronger and stronger. Before you know it, dozens of primordial era years have passed. This day, Tailing's original formation finally couldn't hold it anymore. Boom, the Tailing origin formation shattered, and the origin of the eternal beyond can no longer be seen, and the surrounding scene returned to its original state. Yi Tian stood here, unable to continue to comprehend the origin of the eternal land, and ended his cultivation. At this time, he sensed that one of the deputy mountain masters and the mountain masters came outside his residence. Then, he came out immediately. "I have seen the mountain master and all the deputy mountain masters," Yi Tian said politely. At this time, the Lord of Jiyu Heng asked curiously, "The Lord of Endless, did you build the 373 Tailing origin formation this time?" "Yes," Yi Tian nodded. They all saw it and couldn't hide it. The Lord of Jiyu Heng said again, "It takes 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold to build the Tailing origin array. Where did you get so much high-quality eternal ancient gold?" He thought that Yi Tian would hide it, but didn't want to reveal it. However, Yi Tian directly revealed, it was from the ruins on the other side that so much high-quality eternal gold was obtained. How is this possible? The Lord of Jiyu Heng did not believe it for the first time. He also has an understanding of the ruins on the other side. The origin realm heavenly ancestor cannot enter, and the bone transformation realm is too dangerous to enter there, and it is easy to die. If you want to find more than 3,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold in the other side of the ruins, how many other side-level geniuses have to be lost to do it? Mountain Master, I did find so many high-quality eternal ancient gold in the ruins on the other side. If the Mountain Master doesn't believe it, I can't do anything about it. Yi Tian said, "Perhaps the Lord of Infinity is lucky," said the Lord of Eternal Zero. The Lord of Jiyu Heng did not ask any more questions. After all, Yi Tian had already given the answer. But the answer did not satisfy him. Not long afterward, the Lord of Jiyu Heng and the others left without asking too much. And Yi Tian realized the other side's source rules, and did not disclose it to them, otherwise the attitude of the Lord of Jiyu Heng would definitely not be like this, and he would even treat it as an equal. The years to come, Yi Tian is using the source stone of the other side to cultivate, constantly tempering his own golden bones of the other side, so that his countless golden bones can complete 9 bone transformations. And this process is very difficult. The difficulty of the other side level genius from 8 bone transitions to 9 bone transitions requires a lot of other side origin stones. Many other level geniuses of the 9 bone transformations also spent countless years collecting pieces of the other shore origin stone to finally break through the realm. For example, the Lord of Ancient Void, the other party is the son of the Lord of Ji Yu Heng, with the help of the Lord of Ji Yu Heng. After such a long period of time, there have been only 8 bone transformations, and he has not yet become a genius of the other side of the 9 bone transformations. It can be seen that if you want to become a genius of the 9 bone transformations, you need to spend how much originium from the other side. For example, this time, if Ji Yu Hengshan obtained all the origin stones from the other side in the 8-dimensional world, if all of them were given to him, there might be hope for him to break through to the 9 bone transformation realm, but Ji Yu Hengshan would not do this. After all, Guang Mountain has 2 other side level geniuses, and Guangshan also has to store some other side source stones. No, after a few years, the other shore originium on Yi Tian will not be enough. Although Guang Mountain still has some other side origin stones, but my contribution value is not enough, I can also exchange it with high-quality eternal ancient gold, but Ji Yu Heng Mountain does not have many other side origin stones. If I use it CJFJ waiting for eternal ancient gold to exchange all the other side origin stones, resulting in no other side origin stones in ancient Heng Mountain. It is estimated that the Lord of Ancient Void will also be unhappy. It will also make the Lord of Ji Yu Heng unhappy. Therefore, he still decided to go to Yongye Pavilion to exchange for the source stone on the other side. The wealth of Yongye Pavilion is astonishing, far from being comparable to the ancient Heng Mountain, and there will definitely be extra origin stones from the other side. The Evernight Pavilion will definitely be happy to exchange the high-quality eternal ancient gold for the source stone on the other side. After all, the source stone on the other side is easy to obtain, but the high-grade eternal gold is difficult to obtain. This time, let the Lord of Winter Origin duplicate his body. Yi Tian secretly said. This day, Eternal Night Pavilion branch. Yi Tian's copy body of the Lord of Dong Yuan came here again, and the Lord of Yuanji came out to receive it in person. Lord of Winter Origin, what materials do you want to buy this time? The Lord of Yuanji asked. Yes, I want to buy some other side source stones. How many do you have in Yongye Pavilion? Yi Tian asked. At this time, the Lord of Yuanji showed a look of embarrassment. Lord of Dongyuan, if it were before, we really had a lot of source stones from the other side in Yongye Pavilion, but now there are really not many. The Lord of Yuanji revealed. Why? Yi Tian wondered. The Master of Yuanji explained. It should be that your Master Junzu has not received the news yet. In fact, a few origin ancestors have received some news more or less, but the news has been suppressed at present, and they do not take the initiative. If you go to understand, it is not clear. The land of the eternal other side, Fengya Island, needs to recruit a group of members, and it is limited to only the other side level genius. Therefore, not only our Yongye Pavilion, but also some other forces will buy the other side of the source stone. After leaving, there are almost no other source stones left. Where is Fengya Island? Yi Tian asked. Yi Tian, the master of Yuanji, has not heard of it, so he introduced. You should know that our 72 regions belong to the east, and the land of the other side of eternity is divided into 5 regions, east, west, south, and north and middle. Among them, the central part is the most terrifying, and the eastern part is undoubtedly an ant in the eyes of the central part. The reason why it is divided into 5 territories is that the origin of the Haihei River is separated from the eastern part and the other 4 territories. It is very likely to fall. And Fengya Island is a special treasure located in the east and the middle, and it is also a powerful force, stronger than the Chaos Territory, and there is even a origin realm that is stronger than the Lord of Chaos exist. So it is. Yi Tian nodded. With the constant introduction of the Lord of Yuanji, he became more and more familiar with Fengya Island. In short, once you join Fengya Island, you will not only have a bright future, but also hope to go to the middle. Certainly. Those immemorial geniuses or ordinary bone metamorphosis naturally do not want to go to Fengya Island, nor do they want to go to the middle. However, some other level geniuses want to go further and naturally want to join Fengya Island. Chapter 2608 Gu Hengshan and Hash039's thoughts. At this time, Yi Tian had a doubt in his heart. Why didn't the Lord of Yuanji and the Lord of Chaos join Fengya Island and go to the middle? Yi Tian asked. The Lord of Yuanji said slightly. I just heard it, it's not necessarily true. Rumor has it that the Lord of Chaos once joined Fengya Island and even went to the central part, but I don't know why he came back from the central part and never went out again. Yes, the ancestor of Origin Primal Realm said that the Lord of Chaos may have offended the strong, and he dared not step into the middle again, because he was afraid of affecting Fengya Island, so he had been hiding in the Chaos territory and could not go out. Of course, some people said that too the Lord of Chaos is injured, and is currently healing in the Chaos territory, and will return to the middle sooner or later. In short, there are all kinds of rumors. In this way, the Lord of Chaos is also a member of Fengya Island. As for whether it has really left Fengya Island, it is not certain. In short, Fengya Island is indeed very strong. And according to what the Lord of Yuanji said, if you want to join Fengya Island, you must also participate in the assessment. Not all other level geniuses on Fengya Island are required. Even if ordinary other level geniuses join Fengya Island, they will not be of much help to Fengya Island. After all, there is no shortage of ordinary other level geniuses on Fengya Island. There are so many other level geniuses who have been trapped in the 9 bone transformations, and they can't break through for immortality. In the end, their will is depressed, they sink completely, and they become a waste material. There are no such other level geniuses. After all, there are some big forces, relying on the background, they can forcibly pile up a genius of the other side, and the achievements of this genius of the other side may not even be as good as a great ancient genius. The Lord of Yuanji is not a genius of the other side, because he is not clear about the details. But it's true that Yongye Pavilion can't buy the source stone from the other side now. In desperation, Yi Tian could only leave. Ancient Hengshan. Yi Tian came to the Lord of Eternal Zero and wanted to learn more about Fengya Island from the Lord of Eternal Zero. Soon, he chatted with the Lord of Eternal Zero. At this time, Yi Tian asked directly, Lord of Eternal Zero, do you know Fengya Island? Fengya Island, of course you know, why do you suddenly ask this? The Lord of Eternal Zero asked curiously. I heard that Fengya Island is going to recruit new other level geniuses, so I asked curiously. Yi Tian said truthfully. Fengya Island wants to recruit new other level talents. I really don't know. Subsequently, he sent a message to several of his old friends to ask about the situation. It didn't take long for him to know the exact news. Lord of Endless, that's really the case, but this time Fengya Island only needs 36 other shore level geniuses, so the competition is still very fierce. The Lord of Eternal Zero said. Lord of Eternal Zero, what is the assessment of Fengya Island? Yi Tian asked again. The Lord of Eternal Zero said. The assessment of Fengya Island is different every time, it depends on how they plan, we can't know now. But one thing is certain, that is, the higher the cultivation base, the stronger the strength, the better. Basically, every time the other level genius who can join Fengya Island is 9 times of bone transformation, and there is basically no hope for the other level genius who has 7 or 8 bone changes. Then he asked, Lord of the Endless, do you want to join Fengfang Island? Yes. Yi Tian nodded. At this time, the Lord of Eternal Zero frowned. The Lord of Endless, you are now 8 times bone transformation. If you want to join Fengya Island, it is impossible for the Mountain Master and other deputy Mountain Masters to take out the source stone from the other side to train you. I'm worried that I will leave Guangshan completely and not come back, right? Yi Tian asked. Yes. The Lord of Eternal Zero nodded. In the history of the East, less than 1/10 of the other side level geniuses who left have finally returned, and even if they come back, they will only come to see them occasionally, and they will have a negative impact on the original forces. There is no benefit. The main reason is that you joined halfway. And the Lord of Ji Yu Heng and other deputy mountain masters will definitely support the Lord of Ancient Void, not you. The Lord of Ancient Void joins Fengya Island, which is better than yours. Fengya Island is even more helpful to Guang Mountain. I understand. Yi Tian nodded slightly. In other words, it is impossible for him to use Ji Yu Hengshan to help him break through into the 9 bone transformations this time. However, even with 8 bone transformations, he is no less than those geniuses at the other side of the 9 bone transformations, and there is still hope to join Fengya Island. Only by joining Fengya Island can he enter a wider world and hopefully become a more powerful existence. If he stayed in the Eastern 72 area, a powerhouse like the Lord of Chaos might be his ultimate achievement, and it would be difficult to make progress. Although the Lord of Eternal Zero did not give him any help, he told him the specific time when Fengya Island recruited members. Ask for flowers. After 300 primordial era times, the location is located in an area where the east meets the source Haihei River. With the time and place, Yi Tian slowly cultivated, not in a hurry to improve his strength. Anyway, in a mere 300 primordial era, there is no way to improve his strength, and it is useless to be anxious. Years go by. Before you know it, the 300 primordial era time has passed. This day, Yi Tian set off from Guang Mountain and went to the place where the members were recruited on Fengya Island. And after Yi Tian left, the Lord of Ji Yu Heng discussed it with the Lord of Eternal Zero. The Endless Lord really wants to join Fengya Island. Once he leaves, our Guang Mountain is equivalent to losing a genius of the other side. Mountain Master, San Zixiang has left. In the future, Tianzu will be of help to our ancient Heng Mountain. What help is there? Maybe I won't be able to contact you in the future. You can't say that. Maybe he will become incomparably powerful in the future, and a little benefit to us will be enough to help our ancient Hengshan rise. I don't expect this. I might as well expect my son to join Fengya Island. Don't talk, I'm going to send my son there. Subsequently, the other deputy mountain masters also left. The Lord of Eternal Zero sighed. In fact, it is not to blame the mountain master. After all, Yi Tian joined Ji Yu Heng Mountain for a short period of time, and the time for many ordinary bone transformation to join Ji Yu Heng Mountain is longer than that of the Endless Lord. Therefore, the Mountain Lord and the others have no feelings for the Endless Lord. Now that the Lord of Endless has the idea of leaving Guang Mountain and joining Fengya Island, they are naturally uncomfortable. After a while, Yi Tian arrived at his destination. And just when he just came here, he found that the Lord of Ji Yu Heng took the Lord of Ancient Void to arrive here first, faster than him. I have seen the Lord of Ji Yu Heng, I have seen the Lord of Ancient Void. Yi Tian said hello. The Lord of Ji Yu Heng nodded slightly, but did not say much. With the passage of time, more and more geniuses from the other side came here. Most of them were 9 bone transitions, and only a few 8 bone transition corpses. Chapter 2609 Void Dragon Fish. Like the last Tianzhou competition held in the Chaos Territory, only some of the other side-level geniuses participated, and many other side-level geniuses did not have much interest. For example, those other level geniuses who are eager to break through to the origin realm are only one step away from breaking through, and naturally they are too lazy to participate in such competitions. They don't need to be famous, and they don't need that chance. For them, breakthrough is the most important thing. But now it is different, the chance to enter Fengya Island is more important than any chance. So, here they are. After all, once this opportunity is missed, no one knows how many years it will take to have the next opportunity. Yi Tian sat cross-legged, quietly waiting for the arrival of the envoy from Fengya Island. Only when the messenger arrives will the assessment of Fengya Island be conducted. Time passes slowly, 373. After a long time. Here comes the messenger of Windfang Island. Boom. In the void in the distance, an incomparably huge creature stirred up the source Haihei. It is the original coon beast that can roam the original Haihei River. A origin realm heavenly ancestor said. This origin coon beast is comparable to the existence of the origin realm, and its strength is extremely powerful. Moreover, in the source Black River, the general source realm is also not the opponent of this source coon beast. At this time, this origin coon beast has several origin realm heavenly ancestors, the leader of which is wearing white battle armor, exuding a terrifying aura, distorting the surrounding rules. It was not until the other party got off the body of the Yuan coon beast that the terrifying aura subsided. I have seen the Lord of the White Capital. I have seen the Lord of the White Capital. I have seen the Lord of the White Capital. One of the ancestors of the origin and the beginning of the world respectfully said. It can be seen from the reactions of these primordial ancestors that the strength of the Lord of White Capital must be extremely powerful, and it is very likely that he is no less than the Lord of Chaos. The Lord of Baidu nodded slightly, and immediately looked at the many geniuses on the other side. This time, there are many other level talents who want to join our Fengya Island, but this time only 36 other level talents are recruited. Let me talk about the rules of the assessment this time. I will take you to a special area in the source Haihei River, where there lives a group of special creatures, void dragon fish. Each void dragon fish has a void dragon crystal in its body. Your mission is to be within a time of the ancient era. After collecting 100 void dragon crystals, whoever collects them can participate in the next assessment. The Lord of the White City said. At this time, the Lord of Ji Yu Heng stood up and said, the Lord of White Capital, let them go to the source Haihei to hunt and kill the void dragon fish, isn't it too dangerous? He was worried about his son. What if he fell in the source Haihei? After all, such an assessment is definitely not allowed to participate in these origin realm heavenly ancestors. You must know that even if the ancestors of the origin realm enter the source Haihei, there is a certain danger. Boom! A terrifying force was suppressed, causing the face of the Lord of Ji Heng to change, and his body bent down. Why, you are not satisfied with the assessment method of Fengya Island? If you are afraid of death, you can give up this assessment. Our Fengya Island does not lack any other level geniuses. Moreover, even if you join Fengya Island, the fallen other level talent, there are also many geniuses. If you are afraid of death, just stay in the east forever, don't think about going out. The Lord of the White Capital said coldly. The Lord of Ji Heng did not dare to speak. If you are willing to participate in the assessment, follow me to the Origin Kun Beast, and the other Origin Realm heavenly ancestors will wait here. Having said that, the Lord of Baidu came to the body of the Yuan Kun Beast. And the other geniuses from the other side also followed. Yi Tian naturally entered the body of the Source Kun Beast without hesitation. However, the other side level geniuses who had undergone 8 bone transformations did not follow, and they chose to give up. First of all, their strength is not good, they are only geniuses of 8 bone transformations, and this time they came here to see if there is any hope of passing the assessment of Fengya Island. If there is hope, they will participate. But this time, there is obviously no hope of passing, and there is even a high possibility of falling. So, they had to give up. And the Lord of Ancient Void also gave up, and was brought back by the Lord of Ji Heng. Therefore, among the other level geniuses who participated in the Fengya Island assessment this time, only Yi Tian had 8 bone transitions, and all the other level geniuses had 9 bone transitions. The Source Kun Beast moved and flew directly into the Source Haihei. Afterwards, it shuttled at an incomparably terrifying speed in the Source Haihei River, and the Source Haihei River water along the way could not approach its body, so it would not affect the many other level geniuses on its back. Time passed slowly, and after a long time, the destination arrived. It's here. The voice of the Lord of the White Capital was passed into the ears of many other level geniuses. This area looks no different from the rest of the Source Haihei, but there are void dragon fishes living here. You are off duty, but you can search for void fish in this area and find 100 void dragon crystals. You have to come back after the time of the primordial era. If you can't come back, just leave. At that time, you find your own way back to the east. The words of the Lord of the White Capital are extremely ruthless, but other geniuses on the other side feel that it is normal. Whoa whoa whoa, one by one other level geniuses entered this Source Haihei area and disappeared. In the blink of an eye, all the other side level geniuses left. At this time, the Lord of White Capital looked at the other Origin Realm heavenly ancestors on Fengya Island. This time, there is actually another 8-time bone transformation realm participating in the assessment. Do you think he has any hope of passing the first assessment? There is definitely no hope of 5.9. An Origin Realm heavenly ancestor shook his head. The other side level genius who has undergone 8 bone transformations can't even deal with a void dragon fish, not to mention that there may even be a Origin Realm void here. Dragon fish, even if he is a genius of the other side of the 9 bone transformations, his life-saving means is almost impossible to escape. This genius of the other side of the 8 bone transformations, I am afraid there is no hope of life. Since the other party dares to participate, maybe he really has some means. The Lord of the White Capital smiled. I don't think it's possible. The strength of the cultivation base is here. How can I pass the assessment? The other Origin Realm heavenly ancestors were not optimistic about Yi Tian at all. He is not simple. The Lord of Baidu smiled and said, I sensed a special breath from him, which belongs to the aura of the complete golden body of the other side. Moreover, his will should reach the will of the Origin Realm. Chapter 2610 Gather and Trade. Complete Other Shore Golden Incarnation. The will of the Origin Realm. Although they sensed the will of the Origin Realm, they did not sense the complete golden incarnation of the other side. And the strength of the Lord of the White City is stronger than them, so they naturally believe what the Lord of the White City says. This 8-time bone transformation realm has mastered the complete golden body transformation of the other shore in the will of the primordial realm, and his strength is indeed no less than that of the other shore level genius of the 9 bone transformation realm. There is indeed hope to pass this test, but in case there is no such thing as after passing the assessment, do we want to recruit him? Yeah, if he didn't pass the assessment, it would be a pity if he didn't recruit such a monstrous genius. But we can't break the rules. Once he fails the assessment, we can only give up. Seeing the discussion of these origin realms, the Lord of the White Capital smiled and said, you guys have forgotten that there is still a special recruitment quota. If he really fails the assessment because of his cultivation problem, I will test his strength alone. If it meets the criteria, I will apply for a special recruitment quota. That's right, there are also special recruitment places. Such other level geniuses are indeed qualified to use the special recruitment places. 1. Several origin realm heavenly ancestors nodded 29 heads in a row. The time of a primordial era is very long. It takes such a long time to assess, just to kill 100 void dragonfish. Presumably these void dragonfish should be very powerful, and it would be extremely difficult to kill them. Yi Tian thought to himself. The suppression of the source Haihe is very powerful. After he entered here, he always endured the suppression of the source Haihe. And his perception was also greatly suppressed, and it was difficult to sense far away. The most important thing is that the source Haihe here can cause corrosion to him. Certainly, this degree of corrosion is not too severe, but if it stays for a few primordial era, it will be more serious. What's more dangerous is that they have to face the threat of void dragonfish. Therefore, it is definitely not easy to complete the assessment of Funya Island. This is just the first assessment, and there are other assessments to follow. If you really want to join Funya Island, it is definitely the real evildoer among the geniuses of the other shore, and there is hope to join. In the years to come, Yi Tian is constantly looking for the existence of the void arowana, and the void arowana is not easy to find, so just finding the void arowana is a hassle. Finally this day, Yi Tian found a void dragonfish. Boom! This void dragonfish was swimming in the source Black River, and the terrifying aura filled the air, making Yi Tian feel a little dignified. What a terrifying void dragonfish, although the breath has not reached the level of the ancestors of the origin, but it is no less than the genius of the other side of the 9 bone transitions. There are such creatures in the original Black River. Yi Tian didn't say a word and directly killed him. Immediately, he urged the golden body on the other side, holding the source rule weapon to kill the void dragonfish. And the void dragonfish immediately attacked after sensing the existence of Yi Tian. Boom! The two sides continued to fight, and the strength was evenly divided. Certainly, the void dragonfish's attack was relatively simple, so Yi Tian quickly gained the upper hand. At this time, Yi Tian's full strength burst out. The will of the origin realm. The golden body of the other shore. The magic of the other shore. Origin rules weapons. Even some of the other side techniques that are not helpful, he also used it, just to kill this void dragonfish. Years go by. After a long time, Yi Tian killed this void dragonfish at a certain cost of injury, and then took out a void dragon crystal from its body. Sure enough, it's a little difficult to get 100 dragon crystals. Yi Tian muttered. However, even if 100 void dragon crystals cannot be obtained within the specified time, if the number is similar, they can be purchased from other side level geniuses. After all, some other level geniuses know that they have no hope of passing the assessment, and may be willing to sell the void spirit dragon crystal in their hands to obtain some resources. This is definitely within the allowable range. But this also depends on luck. You must find a genius who is willing to sell the void dragon crystal, and the other party has enough void dragon crystal for your needs. Yi Tian is naturally not going to use this method, he definitely wants to collect 100 void dragon crystals by himself. If you have a duplicate body to slowly find the void dragonfish, and then kill it, 1 primordial era time may not be enough. If you duplicate a duplicate body, it may be almost the same. Then, Yi Tian started to duplicate the second duplicate body. In this way, the 2 duplicate bodies are here to find the void dragonfish, and the speed is definitely much faster, and 100 void dragon crystals can definitely be collected. Soon, the second clone body clone succeeded. Swish! This duplicate body went to another area to find the void dragonfish. In the following years, Yi Tian's 2 duplicate bodies searched for the void dragonfish in the source Black River. After a period of time, he found another void dragonfish, and after some fighting, he finally obtained the second void dragon crystal. Years go by. It's almost time for an ancient era. It's time to go back. Yi Tian muttered. At this time, he has collected more than 160 void dragon crystals, not only enough, but also more than 60 void dragon crystals. If he finds a suitable trading partner, he would like to sell the void dragon crystal to the other party. But the premise is that the price offered by the other party can satisfy him, otherwise he will not sell it. Subsequently, he is looking for such a trade partner. However, he found several other side-level geniuses, and none of them could afford the price. One of the other side-level geniuses, 373, wanted to attack him and snatch his void dragon crystal, but in the end, the other side found that he was not an opponent. Escape. This day, Yi Tian met a genius of the other side again. Lord Hiragi, do you need Void Dragon Crystal? Yi Tian asked. Lord of Endless, do you have Void Dragon Crystal? The Lord of Hiragi frowned slightly. In his opinion, Yi Tian is only a genius of the other side of the 8-bone transformation realm. He can't even kill a Void Dragon fish. Where did the Void Dragon Crystal come from? Of course I have. Yi Tian waved his hand, and some Void Dragon Crystals appeared in his hand. After seeing it, Lord Hiragi showed excitement. Lord of Endless, I still need 32 Void Dragon Crystals. Do you have so many Void Dragon Crystals? Of course there are, but what treasures can the Lord of Hiragi come up with to trade? If it's ordinary treasures, I don't like it. Yi Tian said. The Lord of Hiragi pondered for a while, and he also knew that from Yi Tian trading 32 Void Dragon Crystals, ordinary treasures are definitely not good. After all, it is related to whether he can join Fengya Island. In this assessment, even the 36 other level geniuses are not collected, then there is no need to participate in the subsequent assessment and they will be hired directly. Therefore, the first level is very important. Take that thing out and trade it, otherwise the Infinite Lord will definitely not be willing. The Lord of Hiragi thought to himself. Chapter 2611 The Supreme Technique of the Other Shore. The Lord of Hiragi took out this black boulder. What is this? Yi Tian asked curiously. Original black stone, Lord Hiragi introduced. This kind of treasure is very strange, it can temper the will of the original state. I have not yet borne the will of the original state, so this treasure is of no use to me for the time being. Once you have the will of the origin realm, you can use it to temper and improve your will. Even if you don't need it, you can sell it for a lot of resources. I should be qualified to use it to trade. Okay, I agree, Yi Tian nodded. Subsequently, he made a deal with the Lord of Hiragi. The Lord of Hiragi obtained 32 Void Dragon Crystals, and Yi Tian obtained this origin black stone. Yi Tian also didn't think that the other party had made a fake Genesis black stone, because he felt that this Genesis black stone attracted the will of Genesis realm, and it was definitely a real guy. Besides, the Lord of Hiragi would not really offend him, otherwise it would be like provoking a big enemy for himself. After the deal was done, he left. Although he still has other redundant Void Dragon Crystals, he could not find a suitable trading partner for a while. This time, I have already traded with a genius of the other side, and there is not much time left, so I just choose to leave. Above the original Coon Beast. The Lord of White Capital is still waiting here. At this time, a genius of the other side has already returned. Some knew that they had no hope, so they gave up and chose to come back, while others gathered 100 Void Dragon Crystals and completed the first assessment before returning. Soon, Yi Tian also came back. Lord of the White Capital, this is 100 pieces of Void Dragon Crystal. Yi Tian took out the Void Dragon Crystal and gave it to the Lord of the White Capital. But, the Lord of Baidu did not ask for it, but waved his hand and said, very good, stand over there. There is the place where the other side level geniuses who have gathered 100 Void Dragon Crystals should stand. Obviously, other side level geniuses must have not completed this assessment and have been eliminated directly. And this time, the other primordial ancestors of Fengya Island also looked at Yi Tian a few more times, and their eyes were full of surprise. They also did not expect Yi Tian to actually gather 100 Void Dragon Crystals. Before, they also told the Lord of the White Capital that they were not optimistic about Yi Tian, but the Lord of the White Capital was optimistic about Yi Tian. Now it seems that the eyes of the Lord of the White Capital are fierce, and at a glance, Yi Tian can see that it is not simple. Now, Yi Tian has passed the first assessment. Coupled with Yi Tian's potential, he is almost 100% sure to join Fengya Island. As time flows, other level geniuses came one after another. Some of the other level geniuses took out 100 Void Dragon Crystals with excitement, while some other level geniuses only took out a few or dozens of Void Dragon Crystals, and their faces were full of disappointment. Finally, time is up. Even if there are other side level geniuses who have not returned and have not fallen, it is equivalent to falling. Because the Lord of White Capital will not continue to wait. Go, the Master of Baidu gave an order, and the Source Coon Beast immediately fled away and headed to the eastern area of the Land of Eternity. After a while, they returned to where they came from. At this time, some Origin Heavenly Ancestors are already waiting here. There are several Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestors who did not see the other side level geniuses in their forces, and their faces changed drastically. They have already anticipated the situation, and there are two situations, one is that they have fallen, and the other is that they have not had time to come back. Immediately, They left, returned to their own power, and then figured out a way to deduce it. If they were still alive, they had to find a way to rescue them there. The Lord of the White City will not save, because it doesn't matter, but they can't give up. Certainly. They are also very clear that the most likely possibility is that they have fallen, otherwise they will not come back when the time of a primordial era arrives. After all the eliminated other level geniuses left, only 53 other level geniuses who passed the first level remained. In other words, they still have to eliminate more than a dozen of these other level geniuses. After all, Fengya Island only recruits 36 other level geniuses, which is a rule that will not make an exception. Walk. The Lord of Baidu didn't say much, and directly ordered the Yuan Kun beast to leave. Next, they go to where the second level is. One after that, they came to one of the Black Rivers. Is this Winfang Island? A genius from the other side asked curiously. Naturally it's not Fengya Island. Said one of the originating ancestors of Fengya Island. You haven't officially joined Fengya Island, so naturally you can't enter Fengya Island. This is just a special island in the source Haihei. Has nothing to do with Fengya Island. Subsequently, the Source Kun beast landed on this island. Immediately afterwards, many other side-level geniuses came down with the Lord of the White Capital. Subsequently, the Lord of the White Capital brought many other side-level geniuses to a cliff on this island, and there were countless lines recorded on this rock wall. Yi Tian sensed a special power from this formation, and this power was related to the golden text on the other side and the black text on the other side. At this time, the Lord of the White Capital introduced. This is a broken and weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side. You only need to understand it and display it. The other side of the supreme art, what is this? Some geniuses on the other side had never heard of it, so they asked curiously. Yi Tian had never heard of it, so he was very curious, but when other geniuses on the other side asked, he did not ask, but listened to the explanation of the Lord of the White Capital. The Lord of Baidu introduced. The other side is the supreme technique, which is a technique that can only be practiced by geniuses of the other side. You can understand it as the advanced application and derivation of the technique of the other side's supernatural powers. Good promise. First of all, the other side is supreme. After the technique is weakened, it can be taught. Any other level genius can practice it, but after practicing it, it cannot exert its power. Horrible. However, the supreme technique of the other side is very difficult to practice, and one needs to master 109,600 other side inscriptions and 109,600 other side black inscriptions. No force in the East can master so many other side inscriptions and letters. On the other side of the haven, only our Fengya Island has mastered so many other side of the haven and the other side of the haven. But if you enter Fengya Island, you can learn these black texts and golden texts on the other side, but you are not allowed to teach them, otherwise you will defect and return to Fengya Island. Okay, I'll give you 100 primeval epics, practice here, practice this weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side, and then you can enter Fengya Island. Chapter 2612 successfully joined. At this time, a genius at the other side raised a question. Lord of the White Capital, what if we haven't practiced this weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side? The Lord of Baidu Weiwei said, if you haven't practiced it at all, then it will be calculated according to the level of perception. This cliff is not an ordinary cliff, and when you approach this cliff, it can manifest the accomplishments of your perception. At times, who comprehends more and who comprehends less, you can see at a glance. I see, many other side-level geniuses suddenly realized, and there is no doubt. Subsequently, they began to earnestly comprehend this weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side. And Yi Tian is also comprehending this weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side. The supreme technique of the other side of the good mystery, although it is incomplete, the incompleteness is just right, which reduces the difficulty of cultivation many times, but the power is almost gone. In battle, at most, it can only be used for viewing. Yi Tian had this insight after a period of comprehension. But this is just a test, so this incomplete and weakened version of the other side supreme art is more suitable. Yi Tian realized through a lot of the other side of the golden text and the other side of the black text, plus his understanding is very high, so he comprehends such a high level of the other side. The difficulty is not 390, it can definitely be practiced. Unexpected, a certain other shore level world vomited a lot of blood, and the injury was not light. This is the physical damage caused by the failure of trying to cast this supreme technique on the other side. This trial process cannot be exempted. Fortunately, the other side level genius cultivates a weakened version of the other side's supreme technique. And the other side, Yi Tian used another copy of his body to try again and again, frantically experimenting with this weakened version of the other side supreme technique, thereby increasing his perception and understanding, allowing himself to practice this incomplete and weakened version of the other side supreme technique faster. Years go by. One immemorial era has passed. The 26th primordial era time. Boom. A formation pattern appeared on Yi Tian's body. This formation pattern could continuously evolve various items, but it was not powerful. However, when the Lord of Baidu saw this scene, he knew that Yi Tian had practiced this incomplete and weakened version of the supreme technique of the other side. Very good, you passed the second test. The Lord of the White City announced. He was very surprised. Yi Tian only had 8 bone changes, and the number of the other side of the golden inscription and the other side of the black text that Yi Tian had mastered by CJFJ would not be too many, so he might be able to pass the second level, but he did not expect it turned out to be the first other level genius to pass the second level. And the Lord of Hiragi was also extremely shocked. At the beginning, Yi Tian sold him more than 30 void dragon crystals. He thought Yi Tian gave up entering Fengya Island, but it turned out that there were a lot of void dragon crystals, so he took it out for trading. Now, Yi Tian is the first to pass the second level, and 100% can enter Fengya Island. The Endless Lord is too enchanting. The Lord of Hiragi sighed inwardly. Immediately, he worked hard to gain enlightenment, and he had to pass the second level, and even if he couldn't pass, he had to enter the top 36. Soon, 60 primordial epochs passed. Another other level genius has practiced this incomplete and weakened version of the other side's supreme technique. I have only passed 2 now. It seems that there will not be as many as 36 other level geniuses who have finally mastered this incomplete and weakening of the other side's supreme technique. Yi Tian guessed. In the blink of an eye, the time has come to the 90 primordial eras. At this time, only a dozen other level geniuses passed the second test. For such a result, the Lord of the White Capital and the others were not disappointed, as it should have been. Finally, 100 primordial era time has passed. The 16 of you have passed the second level directly and can join Fengya Island. As for the other geniuses on the other side, touch the cliff now and let the cliff show your comprehension. The Lord of White Capital ordered. These other level geniuses immediately touched the cliff. Soon, their comprehension accomplishments were revealed one by one. Subsequently, the Lord of the White City began to announce the candidates to join Fengya Island. In a blink of an eye, the number of 36 other level geniuses was announced. It's very dangerous, the 36th place is me, and I was almost eliminated. The Lord of Hiragi said happily. At this time, he also felt that his trade with Yi Tian was too wise. If he hadn't traded with Yi Tian, he would have been eliminated in the first level, and it was impossible to join Fengya Island. Subsequently, the Lord of Baidu sent all other side level geniuses back to the east, but said to Yi Tian and other side level geniuses, you can go back and deal with things first, because after entering Fengya Island, you won't be able to come back for a long time. It's not if you can't come back, you won't want to come back when the time comes. Yes, 36 other side level geniuses responded. Immediately after, these 36 other level geniuses received tokens from the Lord of the White Capital one by one. This is an order belonging to Fengya Island. Holding the Wind-Tooth Decree, if there is a primordial ancestor who attacks and kills you, directly take out the Wind-Tooth Order. The originating ancestor in the east will not continue to attack and kill. The Lord of the White City said. This is also the safety of skyrocketing Yi Tian and other level geniuses. After all, they had joined Windfang Island, and the news had not yet spread, so they were still in danger. Therefore, giving Fengya order is announcing this news to the outside world. Subsequently, 36 other side level geniuses went back with the Wind-Teeth orders. Some other side level geniuses have the origin of the ancestors, and some do not. For example, Yi Tian, there is no origin realm heavenly ancestor to meet. He could not have gone back, but he also pretended to return to Guang Mountain. At the very least, he has to deal with Ji Yu Hengshan's affairs. After leaving Guang Mountain, his other cloned bodies will only leave 2 or 3 in the seam of the territorial sea, and will not continue to go out in the east, otherwise it will cause some unnecessary troubles. Ancient Hengshan, Yi Tian is back, first timing. The Lord of Eternal Zero asked for the result. Lord of the Endless, have you joined Fengfang Island? Asked the Lord of Eternal Zero. At this time, Yi Tian directly took out the Windfang order. Seeing this token, the Lord of Eternal Zero will know the result. I thought you would fail, but I didn't expect you to actually succeed. The Lord of Eternal Zero was shocked. The 8-time bone transfiguration other shore-level genius competed with a group of 9-time bone transcendent bone-level geniuses to join the 36 places in Fengya Island, and the competition was successful. This is simply a miracle. Subsequently, Yi Tian chatted with the Lord of Eternal Zero, and then took away the resources that he had left in the ancient Hengshan Mountain, and gave some resources to his subordinates. After finishing other trivial matters, he left from Guang Mountain. Chapter 2613 The Strength of Fengya Island. After leaving Guang Mountain, Yi Tian kept on his way. Along the way, nothing happened, and no origin realm would attack him. Therefore, he safely came to the place where the eastern part of the Land of Eternity meets the source Haihei. After he came here, there are other geniuses who did not return. Therefore, he waited silently with the Lord of the White Capital and the others. Once all the 36 other side-level geniuses arrive, they will be sent to Fengya Island. The waiting process was a bit boring, so some other level geniuses tried to chat with the Lord of the White Capital. The Lord of the White Capital was also very kind and answered all of them one by one. At this time, a genius from the other side asked, Lord of the White Capital, what is the strength of our Fengya Island? Other geniuses from the other side looked at them one after another, they were also very curious. They only know that the strength of Fengya Island is terrifying, and even the Chaos Territory is not worth mentioning in front of Fengya Island. But what the specific strength is, they can't say. Now that they are about to enter Fengya Island, they are naturally more curious about this question. The Lord of White Capital smiled and said, anyway, you are all about to enter Fengya Island, so it's okay to tell you. Our Fengya Island is not actually an island, but an island group on the source Haihei River. There is an island owner. The lowest strength of each island owner is the top origin middle realm. If you take the Lord of Chaos as an example, the Lord of Chaos is considered to be medium among those island owners. What? The Lord of Chaos can only be regarded as medium. These other side-level geniuses were extremely shocked. Even Yi Tian was extremely surprised. He was originally a chaotic master who was not very powerful in Fengya Island, but at least he could be ranked in a good strength. Unexpectedly, the Lord of Chaos is not the top in Fengya Island. Don't be so surprised, the Lord of Baidu said. The water in the land of the other side of eternity is very deep, and you don't have much knowledge, so you feel surprised. In fact, whether it is the east, west, south or north, the land on the other side of eternity is all not to mention compared with the central part. Even some forces close to the central part, such as our Fengya Island, do not take the eastern part into consideration. There is only one top origin middle realm heavenly ancestor like the Lord of Chaos, and there is only one in the east, and Fengya Island now has nearly 100 top origin middle stage island masters, and there are more other level geniuses in the origin lower realm, already. Not only that, there are also 3 origin upper realm heavenly ancestors on Fengya Island. When they heard that there were only 3 heavenly ancestors of the origin and upper realm on Fengya Island, many other level geniuses were surprised. They thought that such a powerful Fengya Island had a lot of origin ancestors. Lord of the White Capital, are there only 3 heavenly ancestors in the upper realm on Fengya Island? They asked curiously. Yes, there are only 3 origin upper realm heavenly ancestors. The Lord of the White Capital smiled and said, you can't imagine the difficulty of becoming origin upper realm, you other level geniuses, there is a high probability that you will not be able to become origin. The upper realm, the difficulty of breaking through the lower realm, the middle realm and the upper realm is not the same dimension, the gap is too big. The Lord of the White Capital did not elaborate on the problem of breaking through the difficulty, but Yi Tian could imagine it. Fengya Island only needs other level geniuses, so almost all of them are other level geniuses, and so many other level geniuses have only given birth to 3 origin upper realm, which can be imagined. Certainly, even if it becomes the top origin middle realm, it is still very impressive, and it can be regarded as invincible in the east. Time passed slowly. After a period of time, 36 other level geniuses came together. Gone, the Lord of the White Capital made many other level geniuses stand on the origin Kun Beast. Then, the Yuan Kun Beast entered the Yuan Haihei and shuttled in the direction of Fengya Island. The speed of the original Kun Beast was very fast, but it also traveled for a long time before arriving at Fengya Island. And just when they were about to arrive at Fengya Island, a breeze surrounded Fengya Island. At this time, the Lord of Baidu reminded, don't touch these winds seem to be very common, but if you touch them, you can blow your flesh to pieces in an instant and play, this power is not something you can contend with. Only after you become the origin realm can you pass through this wind zone, understand? Clear. 36 other level geniuses responded. Even the genius of the other side of the nine-bone transformation realm can't bear the breeze here, which is somewhat similar to the wind in the ruins of the other side. For flowers, Yi Tian secretly said, in the ruins on the other side, when he encountered the wind, he was also blown away by the wind, and his fleshly body collapsed directly. But now, his strength is far beyond the past, although he can withstand it for a while, but it will also be severely damaged. And here, the genius of the other side of the nine-bone transformation realm can instantly fall, which is obviously more terrifying than the wind in the ruins of the other side. The origin Kun beast is the origin realm and is very special, so it directly penetrated the wind area and entered the range of Fengya Island. At this time, many other level geniuses have really seen Fengya Island. Below, the islands are located on the source Haihei, and the source Haihei here is very calm, unlike the turbulent waves of the source Haihei in other areas. Point 0. It should be the wind area that caused it to be very calm, similar to how calm the core area of the storm is. Yi Tian guessed. These islands are shaped like a crescent moon and look very strange. Wow, the source Kun beast landed directly on one of the islands. At this time, the Lord of Baidu said, "This is Baidu Island, and I am the island owner of Baidu Island. Fengya Island will also test your various conditions. After the test, there will be island owners one by one. Come here and select you. Once you are selected, you will join an island and become a member of an island. If your strength is enough in the future, can become a new island owner." Quote, Lord of the White Capital, are different islands treated differently? A genius at the other shore asked. Of course it's different, the Lord of the White Capital introduced. The basic treatment is the same, but there are additional benefits for different islands. Some island owners are weaker and have fewer resources, so the treatment given is naturally slightly worse. Some. Lord of the White Capital, which island lords give good treatment? Another genius at the other shore asked. However, the Lord of the White City did not answer. It is not you who choose the island owner, but the island owner who chooses you, remember. Therefore, it is meaningless for you to ask so many. Seeing this, the other side level geniuses did not continue to inquire about the corpse. Chapter 2614 The test on Fengya Island shocked the audience. Soon, Yi Tian and the others were arranged for testing. The so-called test is to test the real strength, such as the body composite index, the will composite index and the other shore composite index. Among them, the other side composite index is related to the other side genuine, the other side black text, and the other side supernatural powers. The higher each index is, the more powerful island owners will naturally value. If all the indices are very rubbish, I am afraid that they will only be recruited by those new island owners, and the treatment given is naturally very general, only the basic treatment. First of all, the 36 other level geniuses were tested for their comprehensive body index. In a majestic temple, a genius of the other side walked in. And in the dark, the island masters were watching in the dark. At the same time, they were chatting. Baidu, are there any good seedlings in this? 390 times. There is a good seedling, but the specific situation will be clear later. Oh, Baidu's vision is very high, it's definitely not easy to be called a good seedling by you. I don't know if this good seedling's comprehensive index of 3 schools exceeds 1000, if there is more than 1000, then it is considered a good seedling. It is very difficult for the composite index to break through 1000, as long as it is not lower than 100. In the last session, there were several other level geniuses with a composite index lower than 100, but there is nothing we can do. We can only recruit other level talents in the East or cultivate them internally. But internal training is also more difficult. There are too many to be able to give birth to a genius of the other shore. The number of creatures we control on Fengya Island is too small, and we cultivate them internally. You can only use resources to accumulate, that kind of other side level genius is too waste. Why? It would be great if you could intervene in the middle, but the middle can often give birth to more enchanting geniuses on the other side. Forget it, the water in the middle is too deep for us to interfere. I think this time, there will be quite a few other level geniuses with a composite index lower than 100. After all, the recruitment of other level talents this time is not too long from the last time. There is no way, these years Fengya Island has lost a lot of other level talents, and we have to add some other level talents. While these island owners were discussing, Yi Tian's physical examination began. In a special void, Yi Tian felt that his body was out of control, and a strange force poured into his body. Then, the condition of his body was revealed. The heart of the other side, the golden blood of the other side, and the golden bones of the other side could not be concealed one by one, and the complete golden body of the other side of Xuanyang was completely exposed. Moreover, the physical potential and various influences will be explored. Soon, the inspection is over. Then, he came out of this void. The other 35 other side-level geniuses also came out, and they were all very nervous. At present, they don't know what their BMI is, but they definitely hope to be higher. And those island owners naturally knew the comprehensive body index of the 36 other level geniuses for the first time. The Infinity Lord's comprehensive body index has exceeded 1000. The Lord of the White Capital was shocked. Lord of Endless, is this the other side genius you value? The other island owners were surprised. 8th Bone Transfiguration other shore level genius, with such a low level of cultivation, yet such a high body comprehensive index, you must know that the 8 Bone Transfiguration is weaker than the 9 Bone Transfiguration. After all, the physical strength is not enough, the evaluation will be lower. And he can exceed the 1000 composite index because he has practiced a complete other side golden body, and is the most complete other side golden body, and successfully broke through the complete other side golden body method. Moreover, his physical potential very high, this will only exceed 1000 exponents. This other side level genius is indeed very good. Although our Fengya Island can also cultivate such a side level genius, but he relies on himself, which is very evil. This little guy, I want it. I want it too, don't rob me, my Black Cloud Island only has 13 other level geniuses, you just let me. Hee, Lord of the Black Cloud, if I give it to you, wouldn't it delay other people's cultivation? At this time, the master of Baidu said, everyone, stop arguing, wait for the 3 comprehensive index tests to end before discussing. And the comprehensive index will be reported to all island owners at that time. Some island owners have not come yet, and they may also competition. Having said that, these island owners stopped fighting. Subsequently, the Lord of Baidu came out and began to announce the comprehensive body index of the 36 other level geniuses. One after another, the comprehensive body index of the other level genius was announced. Some of the other level geniuses had a comprehensive body index of 300 or 400, while others were very average, only 100 or 200, or even only a few dozen. And this kind of other level genius with only dozens of body comprehensive index is completely accumulated with resources and time. This kind of genius from the other side is naturally not popular. The Lord of Hiragi, the comprehensive body index is 128. 1. The Lord of the White City announced. Upon hearing the number of 128, Lord Hiragi was a little disappointed, but fortunately, it was not less than 100. There were 2 other level geniuses who were obviously not weak, but their comprehensive body index was only over 90, which was very embarrassing. The last one reads Yi Tian. The Infinite Lord, the comprehensive body index is 1068. The Lord of the White City announced. At this time, numerous other side-level heavens joined Yi Tian, revealing an irresistible look. The comprehensive body index is 1068, which is much higher than them, and it is simply not a grade. The Infinity Lord's comprehensive body index is so high. The Lord of Tiandu looked at Yi Tian. In the other side-level talent competition, he easily defeated Yi Tian. Unexpectedly, Yi Tian's comprehensive body index has far surpassed him. He has some understanding of the body composite index of Fengya Island. It is very abnormal for a body composite index of 5.9 to exceed 1000. He only has a comprehensive body index of over 600, which is very far from 1000. For a moment, he was hit. Now go for a comprehensive test of will. The Lord of the White City announced. The comprehensive test of will is relatively simple, which is to look at the strength and potential of the will. Will also has potential, but it is difficult to detect, but Fengya Island can test it. Of course, the strength of willpower accounts for a large proportion. If the will reaches the will of the origin, then the comprehensive index will be very high. Soon, one after another geniuses from the other side went to another place to conduct the comprehensive index test of will. And Yi Tian also entered another hall for testing, and soon the test results came out. Chapter 2615 Join Ice Rain Island. The comprehensive index of will of other side-level geniuses is probably between 100 and 500, the gap is not very large, and there is no other side-level genius whose comprehensive index is lower than 100. Obviously, in terms of will, these other level geniuses are not bad. Lord of the Endless, the comprehensive index of will is 1022. This composite index was spoken by the Lord of the White Capital. Immediately, the other side level geniuses were surprised. Another composite index broke 1000. The comprehensive index of will breaks through 1000, and the will of the infinite Lord must have reached the will of the origin realm, otherwise it is impossible to break through 1000. Lord Hiragi and other geniuses on the other side thought to themselves. 8 times the bone transformation realm cultivation base will raise the will to the origin realm will, which is very difficult to do. And Yi Tian did it. Certainly. The will composite index is less important, not as important as the body composite index and the other side composite index. But Yi Tian now has a comprehensive body index and a comprehensive will index of more than 1000, which is terrifying. Subsequently, Yi Tian and the others were taken to another place by the Lord of the White Capital to test the other shore composite index. 29 in a void. Yi Tian came here. At this moment, an inexplicable force poured into the body. His origin rules of the other side were perceived, and there were other techniques of the other side's supernatural powers, all of which turned into imprints and appeared in the void. The imprints of the golden inscriptions on the other side and the black inscriptions on the other side are also presented. Soon, the test was over, and he walked out. After that, just wait for the other side level geniuses to complete the test, and the Lord of Baidu will announce the other side's comprehensive index. Soon, the tests of other side level geniuses are over. At this time, the master of Baidu announced the other shore comprehensive index of each other genius. Most of the other side level geniuses have a comprehensive index of 200 or 300. For a genius of the other side like Tiandu Lord, the other side's comprehensive index has reached 688, which is a very high level of the other side's comprehensive index. And Yi Tian's other shore composite index was still announced last. Other geniuses on the other side think that Yi Tian's comprehensive index of the other side is very high, and in fact it is. Lord of the Endless, the other shore composite index is 1090. The composite index broke 1000 again. At this moment, all other level geniuses were shocked. And those island owners are also very excited. The 3 composite indexes all broke 1000, and Fengya Island couldn't remember how long it had not recruited such other level geniuses. The comprehensive index of all other level geniuses is sent to each island owner, and the selection of other level geniuses will soon be carried out. Now, after the island owner of Fengya Island received this batch of other side level genius comprehensive index data, all eyes were fixed on Yi Tian's data. This group of other side level geniuses even have such enchanting geniuses, this guy, I want it. Ha ha ha, I must recruit the Infinity Lord into my island. Hurry over, so as not to be robbed by other island owners. An incomparably powerful island owner has come from all over Fengya Island. Fengya Island is not very large, so the islands are almost instantaneously reached here. Next, it's time to choose the other side level genius. Lord of Endless, are you willing to enter my Taihang Island? Lord of Endless, are you willing to enter my Zhuhong Island? Lord of the Endless, I am ranked 11th among the many island owners of Fengya Island. Join my island and I will give you a high treatment. 1. The 11th island owner. Yi Tian looked at each other. This is the Lord of True Lin, and his island is called True Lin Island. At this time, another island owner said, Lord of the True Lin, your strength is indeed the 11th among many island owners, but you are very poor, your cultivation is too resource intensive, and you are not enough. Use, the resources held by Junlin Dao can be used for your own cultivation, and there are not many resources for training members of Junlin Dao. Even if you give a lot of resources to the Lord of Infinity at the beginning, in the later stage, the supply of resources will not be enough, the training speed has to be reduced a lot. Maybe, the Lord of Endless has to do tasks frequently to provide resources for Junlin Island. The Lord of True Lin smiled awkwardly, but did not refute. Obviously, his real Lindao is really poor. Since the real Lindao was very poor, Yi Tian gave up the real Lindao. These island owners are constantly quarreling, while other side level geniuses have given up and been given up. The other geniuses on the other side were suddenly envious and envious. If they were treated like this, how wonderful it would be. Now, Yi Tian was also hesitating, not knowing which island to choose to join. Just then, a woman appeared in front of Yi Tian. Lord of Ice Rain, Lord of the Ice Rain, Lord of Ice Rain. One of the island owners shouted very politely. Lord of Endless, I want Frozen Rain Island, do you have any opinions? The Lord of Ice and Rain said in a delicate voice. No comment. The other island owners shook their heads one by one. Even the Lord of the White Capital did not dare to refute, not to argue with the Lord of Frozen Rain. Lord of Endless, you will enter my Frozen Island. This is not an inquiry, but a direct decision. Yi Tian doesn't have the right to choose, but even if he was given a choice, he would still choose Ice Rain Island. Without him, just because the Lord of Frozen Rain is so powerful, other island owners dare not refute it. Obviously, this Lord of Ice Rain is extremely powerful, and Ice Rain Island should also be very rich. Therefore, joining Ice Rain Island is definitely the wisest choice. In this way, Yi Tian was chosen by Ice Rain Island. After that, other island owners began to select other side level geniuses. It didn't take long for the 36 other level geniuses to be selected away. Follow me, the Lord of Ice and Rain shouted. Yi Tian immediately followed the Lord of Ice Rain to Ice Rain Island. Ice Rain Island is located in the core of Fengya Island. This island is relatively large and has a better geographical location. After coming to Frozen Rain Island, the Lord of Frozen Rain explained some things to Yi Tian. Infinity Lord, let me introduce myself first. 1. The Lord of Ice and Rain. I am the Lord of the Ice and Rain of Fengya Island, and I am the first among many island owners. Except for those outside the origins, my strength is the strongest among the origins of the middle. The most powerful source of the middle realm. Yi Tian knows what this means, and the Lord of Chaos is far inferior. Entering Ice Rain Island is naturally the best choice. At this time, the Lord of Frozen Rain continued. Lord of Endless, there are various inheritances on Frozen Rain Island, you can look at it casually, as for your reward treatment, I will give it to you later. Let's talk about the situation of Frozen Rain Island. Today, Frozen Rain Island has a total of 18 members. Except for you, the other members are all in the Origin Realm. 17 Origins Realm. Ice Rain Island is indeed very powerful. Chapter 2616 Void Origin Array. The Lord of Frozen Rain continued. Besides me, there are 2 in the middle of the origin of the 17 Origin Realm of Frozen Rain Island. They are not qualified to be the Island Lord, so they still belong to the first realm of Frozen Rain Island. Member. The Lord of Ice Rain said a lot about the situation of Ice Rain Island. And Yi Tian has been listening carefully. Subsequently, the Lord of Frozen Rain said, usually, if I am not on Frozen Rain Island, if you have something to do, you can find other island owners. You only joined Frozen Rain Island, and you are only practicing for the time being. You have now mastered the complete golden body of the other side, and your will has also improved. When you reach the will of the Origin Realm, you also comprehend the rules of the origin of the other side. Therefore, I will not guide you in the cultivation in the Bone Transformation Realm. Your current practice content is to master more of the other side of the golden text and the other side of the black text. Yes, Yi Tian nodded. Subsequently, he quit. Then, he chose a mountain peak as his residence on Ice Rain Island, and opened a dojo here. Soon, the dojo will be opened. Next, he was ready to comprehend the other side of the golden text and the other side of the black text. Ice Rain Island, the other side tower. There are many other inscriptions and stone carvings on the other side preserved here, so that every genius of the other side can comprehend the inscriptions on the other side for free. When Yi Tian came here, he saw the dense inscriptions on the other side and the black text on the other side. This amount, Yi Tian was really shocked. Compared with the inscriptions on the other side and the black inscriptions on Fengya Island, the number of inscriptions on the other side and the black inscriptions on the other side preserved in Guangshan is too small to be worth mentioning at all. In addition, Fengya Island also provides many resources to help practice. For example, the Other Shore Enlightenment Fruit. This resource comes from the Other Shore Enlightenment Tree, which is very rare in the East. At the auction, the seeds of the Other Shore Enlightenment Tree were auctioned off by a top force, and it takes many years to cultivate the Other Shore Enlightenment Tree before one can obtain the Other Shore Enlightenment Fruits in the long years. But in Fengya Island, he directly obtained 100 Other Side Enlightenment Fruits. This was one of the rewards that the Lord of Ice Rain gave him when he joined Ice Rain Island. With the fruit of enlightenment on the other side, coupled with my own understanding, I should be able to quickly understand the golden texts and black texts on the other side. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the following years, he took each piece of the other side enlightenment fruit to quickly comprehend the other side golden texts and the other side black texts. Gradually, he mastered more and more other side of the golden text and the other side of the black text. When comprehending the other side's golden text and the other side's black text, he was also using the other side's source stone to temper his own side's golden bone. Fengya Island has a lot of origin stones on the other side, enough for him to raise his cultivation to 9 bone transformations. In addition to him, other side level geniuses are also retreating and practicing after entering Fengya Island. Certainly, their cultivation content is different from Yi Tian. Some geniuses on the other side are cultivating methods similar to the golden body of the other side of Xuanyang, and some are comprehending the rules of the origin of the other side. But it is impossible for Fengya Island to provide unlimited resources. Once the resources are exhausted, you have to work hard. Just like the high-quality eternal ancient gold, it cannot be provided indefinitely, only some. There are many resources like ETN, but they can't stand the constant consumption. Years go by, after 5,000 primordial eras. This day, boom, Yitian's cultivation has finally reached the pinnacle of 8 bone transitions. Immediately afterwards, he used the supernatural power technique he had created long ago to integrate into his body, trying to break through, but failed. Then, he continued to create a top-notch supernatural power technique, and attack the bone transformation realm 9 times again. This time, he successfully broke through the bottleneck, and completed 9 bone transformations by tempering the last bit of the other side's golden bone, breaking through to 9 bone transformations. Finally broke through to the 9 bone transformation realm. Yi Tian said excitedly, with his current strength, he can easily kill the other side level geniuses who have undergone 9 other bone transformations, and his strength is no less than that of the ordinary origin heavenly ancestor. Of course, compared to the other side level geniuses in the origin realm, he is naturally not enough to look at. Therefore, any origin realm on Fengya Island can easily hang or even kill him. He has no right to be proud. In addition to the breakthrough in cultivation, he is also very accomplished in comprehending Jinwen on the other side and the black text on the other side. Now, he has mastered over 67,000 golden inscriptions on the other side, and more than 69,000 black inscriptions on the other side. Compared with the past, the number of his other side of the golden text and the other side of the black text has skyrocketed. This is the result of enlightenment on the other side plus other resources, plus one's own comprehension and the unlimited number of inscriptions on the other side. And in the East, there is no such house condition. More than 60,000 other sure inscriptions and black texts are still not enough. You need to master 109,600 other sure inscriptions and 109,600 other sure black inscriptions before you can hope to create the supreme art of the other side. Yi Tian muttered. Therefore, his current attainments are nothing at all. Go to the inheritance tower and see, there are many inheritances on Fengya Island, and maybe there are inheritances that are helpful to me. 1. Yi Tian secretly said. Subsequently, he came to the inheritance tower. There are many kinds of inheritance, such as the inheritance of the formation method, the inheritance of the golden body of the other side, and the inheritance of the supreme technique of the other side. Among them, the inheritance of the supreme technique of the other side can only be used for reference, and some weakened versions of the supreme technique of the other side have no power at all, so they can only be used for reference. Yi Tian took a look at these inheritances, and some of them only read the introduction a little, and were not interested in learning. Soon, he came to the formation inheritance area. Fengya Island should have the inheritance of the original magic circle. Yi Tian thought to himself. He was going to find a better array of inheritance than Tailing's original array. And Fengya Island definitely has it. Really, after he looked around, he found it successfully, and he didn't stop there. The Tailing origin formation requires 3,600 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold, which can last for 500 primordial eras. And in the inheritance of the origin magic circle of Fengya Island, there are hundreds of origin magic circles that can maintain the time of 500 primordial era. Among them, the most cost-effective one is the origin magic circle of the same grade as Tailing origin magic circle. It only needs 3,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold to maintain 500 primordial eras, which is better than the Tailing origin magic circle. Certainly, Yi Tian couldn't look down on this level of origin formation. He quickly took a fancy to a source law, the void source formation. This origin magic circle requires 13,000 pieces of high-quality eternal ancient gold and various precious materials, which can last for 5,000 primordial eras. This is much more cost-effective than the Tailing origin array. However, for other geniuses of the other side, it is more difficult to collect 13,000 pieces of high-grade eternal gold. Chapter 2617 Origin Insect Mother. This vein origin magic circle is very good. Yi Tian directly obtained the inheritance of the void origin array. After obtaining it, he comprehended this floating origin magic array and knew how to arrange it. After that, he made a request to Fengya Island, and needed other precious materials for the construction of the void origin array. And Windfang Island will help him collect, but he has to pay for it. After a period of time, Windfang Island helped him gather the materials he needed. Subsequently, He built the Void Origin magic array on Ice Rain Island. Anyway, his high-grade eternal ancient gold is enough, so it is very easy to arrange such a source circle. Soon, the Void Origin array was built successfully. This magic circle can last for 5,000 years of the primordial era. I comprehend the origin of the eternal other side in such a vain source circle, and it should be able to improve the rules of the other side's origin a lot. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the Void Origin array, Yi Tian faced the origin of the eternal beyond, silently comprehending. Time flies, one after another primordial era has passed. And his other side origin rules are slowly improving, and each time he improves a little, his strength can also improve a little. 390 unconsciously, the 5,000 primordial era time passed. The 5,000 primordial eras have passed, and my attainment in the rules of the origin of the other shore has improved again. Yi Tian looked quite excited. Afterwards, he came to Ice Rain Island in front of the other side rule monument dedicated to testing the other side origin rules, and prepared to use this other side rule monument to test his own other side origin rule attainments. At first, when he just came here, he used this other side rule tablet to test his own level of origin rule attainment, and only displayed a number 1. According to Fengya Island, the number 1 represents a realm. If it reaches 10, it means that the realm of his other side origin rules has reached the realm of 10%. However, it is extremely difficult for the other side of the source rules to increase by 1 digital point. Now, Yi Tian has comprehended and practiced 5,000 primordial eras in the Void Origin law formation, but he does not feel that he can improve the other side origin rules to the realm of 10%. Boom! Yi Tian manipulated the source rules of the other side and integrated them into the rules of the other side. Soon, a number appeared on it 6. This means that Yi Tian has already raised the realm of the other side's source rules to the realm of 6 points, although it has not reached the realm of 10%, it is definitely a very high realm. Many geniuses from the other side of the origin realm have cultivated for a long time, and it is difficult to improve to this realm. And in the 5,000 years of the primordial era, although his other cloned bodies were also cultivating and making some progress, they were still far from reaching the pinnacle of the 9 bone transformations. If the 9 bone transformation realm wants to impact the origin realm, one must first raise the cultivation base to the extreme of the 9 bone transformation realm, that is, continue to temper every golden bone on the other side to the point where it cannot continue to be tempered. Environmental level. In this way, this golden bone on the other side has been tempered. When the 365 golden bones of the other side have been tempered to the extreme, and then they understand the rules of the origin of the other side, such a genius of the other side can go to the origin in the beginning. Yi Tian estimates that if he wants to hit the origin realm Tianzu realm, he is afraid that it will take 100,000 primordial era, or even more years. If you want to break through quickly, you need to obtain more resources to temper the golden bones of the other side. Yi Tian secretly said. In the following years, he spent most of his time refining the golden bones of the other shore and comprehend the golden inscriptions and black texts of the other shore, and spent much less time on other aspects. He thought that the following years would be so calm, and he only needed to practice step by step. However, this day, the Lord of Ice Rain informed him that something happened in the past. So, Yi Tian came to the palace of the Lord of Ice Rain. In addition to him, CJFJ, there are more than 10 Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestors coming, all of them are other Origination Realm Heavenly Ancestors of Frozen Rain Island. Yi Tian had seen them before, so he knew them, but he was not familiar with them. The Lord of Frozen Rain saw that all the members of Frozen Rain Island should come, so he said, I called you here this time because there is a big announcement. 1. Lord of Ice Rain, what happened? Another Origin Middle Realm Heavenly Ancestor asked. The Lord of Ice Rain immediately said, I just got the news that the Immortal Island Alliance has entered the border. We have captured a Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestor and obtained a very important piece of information. They found the Origin Insect Mother in the Origin Black River, but let the Primordial Worm escape. 1. What? The Source Insect Mother? These Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestors were shocked and immediately excited. Lord of Ice Rain, if we catch the original Worm Mother, we may be able to find its old nest. It is rumored that the original nest of the original Worm Mother has a special resource, which is of great help to us. Moreover, the original Worm Mother's nest, the Source Insect Mother Crystal, can also help us improve the source rules of the other side, which is a good thing. The Source Insect Mother can't be caught by the Immortal Island Alliance, they must be stopped. These Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestors are talking about the Origin Insect Mother here, but Yi Tian is very confused, he doesn't understand the situation at all. Shortly after, Frozen Rain. I went to search for origin worms. After they left, Yi Tian asked, Lord of Ice Rain, what is the Immortal Island Alliance, and what is the Origin Insect Mother? The Lord of Ice and Rain patiently introduced, the Immortal Island Alliance is a force similar to our Fengya Island. The headquarters is also in the source Haihei, but it is close to the north of the Eternal Land. And our Fengya Island and the Immortal Island Alliance have a great deal of power. Basically, we will not go to the site of the Immortal Island Alliance, and the Immortal Island Alliance will not come to our site. But this time, they crossed the line, it should be for the original Insect Mother. As for the Origin Insect Mother, it is a special life in the Origin Haihei, and it is very rare. The Origin Insect Mother is not powerful, it is equivalent to the general Origin realm. However, the Origin Insect Mother's speed in the Origin Haihei is astonishing, can also mobilize the power of the source Haihei to intercept the enemy. Therefore, even if the strength far exceeds the source of the mother, it is difficult to hunt down it. The value of the Origin Insect Mother lies in his Origin Insect Mother crystal, which can help us understand the rules of the origin of the other side. Any primordial Insect Mother crystal is extremely precious. If it is sold in the middle, it can be exchanged for countless resources. Of course, the most precious is the Origin Worm's nest, which is the real treasure. A Origin Worm can probably breed more than 100 Origin Worms, but it takes time to breed them slowly. Chapter 2618 The Battle with the Immortal Island Alliance. Yi Tian knew the value of the original worm nest from the mouth of the Lord of Ice Rain, and it was a precious treasure to the geniuses on the other side of the original realm, and even to Fengya Island. Certainly, the entry of the Immortal Island Alliance also made them angry, so they needed to be stopped. Subsequently, the Lord of Ice Rain also went to help, but did not let Yi Tian go there. After all, he is only a genius at the other side of the 9 bone changes, so he can't help. However, he can communicate with other side-level geniuses on Fengya Island and understand this matter in real time. Above the source of the Black River, both Windfang Island and the Origin Realm of the Immortal Island Alliance are looking for the Origin Insect Mother, and both parties have used various means. With their background, it is not a problem to find the source Insect Mother, it is just a matter of time. Some time passed. Suddenly, the Origin Realm of the Immortal Island Alliance took the lead in locking the Origin Insect Mother. So, they immediately began to surround the primordial Insect Mother to learn a lesson, and would not let it escape again. I saw a majestic figure around the source Insect Mother, standing on the source Black River, using various means to block the place. Boom! The source Insect Mother tried to shuttle away, but it was directly installed on an invisible barrier and was intercepted. I saw that this enchantment continued to shrink, and eventually the source Insect Mother would be caught. Unexpected, a voice came. Master of Hao Prison, the Immortal Island Alliance has sent you here. Are you provoking us by breaking into the territory of our Fengya Island like this? The Lord of Frozen Rain appeared, followed by other island owners and a group of other level geniuses. The Origin Middle Realm Heavenly Ancestor, known as the Lord of Hao Prison, is the first Origin Middle Realm of the Immortal Island Alliance, and his strength is similar to that of the Lord of Frozen Rain. Lord of Ice Rain, we didn't provoke you Fengya Island, it was just that a pet of our Immortal Island Alliance escaped and was caught. Instead, it was your Fengya Island that captured one of our origins. Tianzu, could it be that you want to go to war with us? The Lord of Hao Prison said. Pet, the Lord of Ice and Rain naturally didn't believe it. In a word, give us this Origin Insect Mother, and we will return your Origin Realm Heavenly Ancestor to you. The Lord of Ice Rain suggested. This is impossible. The Master of Hao Prison refused. The value of a Origin Insect Mother does not lie in itself, but in the Origin Insect Nest behind it, which is even more important than a genius of the Origin Realm. If you don't want to, then let's fight. The Lord of Ice Rain smiled and said, in terms of strength, my side is stronger, and your Immortal Island Alliance headquarters is farther away from here, and the speed of support can't keep up with our wind teeth. Island, once a war breaks out, you will suffer. 1. When the Master of Hao Prison heard this, he frowned slightly, and he also admitted that what the Master of Frozen Rain said was very reasonable. If they really fight, they will suffer losses, even heavy losses, and it will not be worth it at that time. Could it be that you dare not start a war? We have suffered heavy losses, but you also have to kill a group of ancestors of the original realm. At that time, even if you obtain the original worm nest, you will not be able to make up for the loss. The Master of Hao Prison said. How about following the old rules? The Lord of Ice and Rain said. The Master of Hao Prison was silent for a while, and then communicated with the other Immortal Island's Origin Realm ancestors, and finally nodded. Okay, then follow the old rules. The master of Hao prison agreed. The so-called old rule is that each side will send 10 other side-level geniuses to fight with each other in the form of wheel battles. Certainly, both sides also have time to prepare. Once the game starts, there is no way to go back. Make the oath of the source of eternity. The Lord of Ice and Rain proposes. Subsequently, the two sides made an oath and signed a contract. They agreed to compete here after 1,000 primeval era years. And this origin insect mother is temporarily sealed, and no one can move it. Fengya Island, Ice Rain Island. Soon, Yi Tian knew the specific situation. Windfang Island and the Immortal Island Alliance have not fought. He thought that the two sides would still fight, but it turned out to be a competition to determine the origin of the mother of insects. Whether it is Fengya Island or the Immortal Island Alliance, you don't want to lose a lot, otherwise you will gain some resources and lose a lot of other level geniuses, and it's not worth it. Yi Tian murmured. For flowers. Soon after, the Lord of Frozen Rain came back, and immediately summoned Yi Tian. Lord Ice Rain, Yi Tian said respectfully. At this time, the Lord of Frozen Rain said, Lord of the Endless, this match against the Immortal Island Alliance is up to you. There are indeed many geniuses on the other side of the 9 bone transformations on Fengya Island, and they have also cultivated some locally, but most of your strengths are average, and you have now broken through to the 9 bone transformation realm, and your strength is far beyond that of other side level geniuses, so if you make a move this time, we have a great chance of winning. Yi Tian immediately made a request, Lord of Ice Rain, if I help Fengya Island win the game, can I get some resource benefits from the origin worm? 1 inch. After all, he doesn't do anything that is not beneficial. 0. The Lord of Frozen Rain didn't even think about it, and immediately agreed. No problem, the Lord of Ice Rain agreed. And in the next 1,000 primordial eras, it is almost impossible to quickly increase the strength. However, he still has to improve his strength a bit. Then, he is ready to create a more powerful other side supernatural power technique, and to enhance a little more primordial will. Years go by. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 primeval times have passed. This day, 10 geniuses from the other side of the 9 bone transformation realm gathered here. Except for Yi Tian and the Lord of Tiandu, the other 9-time bone transformation bone level geniuses are not this group of other level geniuses, but 9 bone transformation geniuses recruited from other channels, and they are practicing in Fengya Island. Countless years, the strength is very strong. The source of Haihei, still the same place. The Lord of Frozen Rain, other island owners of Fengya Island, and the ancestors of the Origin Realm have all come here, and the powerhouses of the Immortal Island Alliance are also here. Moreover, they also brought 10 9-time bone transformation realm level geniuses. And Yi Tian was arranged to take the 6th position. The reason why he was not in the last position was because he was afraid of accidents. If it is shot in the 6th place, it will directly eliminate the other 9-time bone transformation beyond grade geniuses from the Immortal Island Alliance. If there are other side level geniuses stronger than Yi Tian only needs to inflict heavy damage on the other side, and he can create a hopeful corpse for the other side level geniuses behind Fengya Island. Chapter 2619 3 Kinds of Good Things. Soon, Fengya Island and the Immortal Island Alliance's first other side level genius appeared and began to fight. Boom! The 2 other level geniuses went all out, displaying all kinds of other side supernatural powers, and they were also part of the other side golden body. The 2 had similar strengths to each other, so they fought for a long time before finally deciding the winner. In the first game, the other side genius from Fengya Island lost, but the opponent also suffered heavy losses. Immediately afterwards, the second other side level genius from Fengya Island came on stage, and easily defeated the other side severely damaged other side level genius. In this way, the second other side genius of the Immortal Island Alliance also played. Time passed slowly. Fengya Island and the Immortal Island Alliance's other side level geniuses have exchanges, you win 1, I win 1. Before you know it, Fengya Island has been eliminated by 5-3-9-0s, while the other side has only been eliminated by 4. From this point, it can be seen that the other side level geniuses on Fengya Island are still slightly weaker. But this does not explain anything, nor does it represent the strength of both sides. Lord of Infinity, it's your turn. The Lord of Ice and Rain. Yes, Lord of Ice Rain. Yi Tian went up, and the other side level genius of the other side has been seriously injured. Therefore, Yi Tian directly eliminated the opponent with just 1 move. Then, the opponent's 6th other level genius came on the field. At this time, the voice of the Lord of Ice and Rain came, Lord of Endless, don't keep your hands, beat them hard. 1 inch. Yi Tian nodded slightly, indicating that he understood. Boom! The golden body on the other side of Xuanyang exploded directly. The will of the origin realm also erupted. Immediately afterwards, he pointed to the source rule weapon long spear, attached the other side source rule, and killed the other side genius. The opponent's face changed drastically, and he tried his best to defend, but he couldn't stop it at all. With just one blow, the opponent's body cracked. At the critical moment, the master of Hao Prison took action to save the life of this other level genius, otherwise the other party would never survive. Complete the other side level genius, the will of the original realm, the original rules of the other side, and the realm is not low. No wonder the Lord of Ice Rain, you proposed the competition, so you have such a killer. The Lord of Hao Prison was very unwilling. Knowing this earlier, he would definitely not agree. However, it is said that the generation of Fengya Island does not have any powerful other level geniuses in the 9 times bone transformation realm, but he has recruited a group of other level geniuses recently, but he doesn't care about this group of other level geniuses at all. As a result, there is such a monster in it. In short, he made a mistake. It is impossible to admit defeat directly. Subsequently, the 7th other level genius of the Immortal Island Alliance went up, but was also defeated by Yi Tian with 1 move. The 8th place was also defeated by 1 move. However, it is the 9th. 10th. I have to say that the 10th other level genius is really powerful. 96% of the other's golden body and the will of the source have also understood the rules of the source, but the rules of the source are not as good as him. And 90% of the 6 bodies in the other side of the golden body, compared with his Xuanyang the other side of the golden body, there is still a big gap. Boom! After a few tricks, the opponent was seriously injured. After a while, Yi Tian defeated him easily. That's it. Windtooth Island won the game. Master of Hao Prison, this origin insect mother belongs to me, let's go. The Lord of Ice and Rain has chased away. The eyes of the Master of Clear Prison were full of annoyance, but he had no choice but to say, okay, but the origin realm you caught must be released. No problem. The Lord of Ice Rain nodded. Just a mere origin realm heavenly ancestor, and killing it would not do any good to Fengya Island. Soon, the Lord of Frozen Rain released the original ancestor of the Immortal Island Alliance. And the Lord of Frozen Rain grabbed the origin insect mother and left. As for using this origin insect mother to find the origin insect nest, it has nothing to do with Yi Tian. Ice Rain Island. Yi Tian practiced silently, waiting for the news of the Lord of Ice Rain. After all, the Lord of Ice and Rain had promised that once he found the source worm nest, he could get some resource benefits from it. He was looking forward to it. After a period of time, the Lord of Ice and Rain informed him to go. Lord of Ice Rain. After Yi Tian saw the Lord of Ice Rain, he respectfully said. When Yi Tian came to the opinion of Frozen Rain, he said, after our exploration of Fengya Island, we have finally found the origin worm nest, and there are a lot of good things in it, you can choose some. Soon, he took Yi Tian to the place where the source worm nest was. It is very far from Fengya Island, but the speed of the Ice Rain Lord is fast, I don't know how many times faster than Yi Tian. Therefore, it didn't take long to get here. Lord of Ice Rain, where is the origin worm? Yi Tian didn't see it. The original worm nest will be hidden, so it is not easy to see. The Lord of Ice Rain said. I saw the Lord of Frozen Rain waved his hand and hit the source insect nest. Next moment, the source worm nest appeared. Immediately after, the Lord of Ice Rain brought Yi Tian into this origin worm nest. The inside of the source insect nest is very large, but there is not a single source insect mother here. At this time, the Lord of Frozen Rain explained, there are more than a dozen origin insect mothers here in Yuan, and after we found this place, we killed the primordial insect mothers because they have no value left. There are a lot of resources discovered here. I think the values that are useful to you are the 3 kinds of resources, the root worm tree pith, the purple ling golden liquid, and the eternal mother liquid. You can take some of them separately. The Lord of Ice Rain suggested. Yi Tian didn't know about these kinds of resources, so he asked for advice out of curiosity. The size of the Lord of Ice Rain, what are the uses of these 3 resources? The Lord of Frozen Rain introduced. The root worm tree marrow can be used to temper your golden bones on the other side and quickly improve your cultivation. Zilling gold liquid can be used to improve the will of the original realm. As for the eternal mother liquid, it is more precious. It can help comprehend the rules of the source of the other shore at 5.9, and the effect is quite good. When you build the magic circle of the source in the future, practice with the eternal mother liquid. The effect is quite good. The Lord of Ice and Rain. It's really good stuff. Yi Tian was delighted. Subsequently, the Lord of Ice Rain collected these 3 resources from here and gave some to Yi Tian. Although the number is not very large, it is definitely not small. Besides, he only fought a few games and didn't contribute much, so it was good to have these resources. Like other side-level geniuses, although it has also been dealt with, it is estimated that there is no good reward. Therefore, he cannot be too greedy. Subsequently, he was brought back by the Lord of Ice Rain, otherwise it would take a long time for him to fly back alone, and it would even be a little unsafe. Chapter 2620 The Xiao Family in the Middle. After going back, Yi Tian was going to use those 3 resources to improve his strength. The first is the root worm tree marrow. This resource can temper his golden bone on the other side. So, he picked up a drop of the root worm tree marrow and used it to temper his golden bone on the other side. Soon, he roughly judged the effect of the root worm tree pith. Probably can increase the training speed dozens of times. This is already an exaggerated improvement. The only unfortunate thing is that the number of origin worm tree pith is not very large, otherwise he estimates that it will only take 2 or 3,000 years of the primordial era to go to the origin realm. These root worms can probably shorten my cultivation time in the primordial era by 20,000 to 30,000, which is also very good. Yi Tian thought to himself. Subsequently, he has been using these root worm tree marrow to temper his golden bone on the other side. Occasionally, he also used Zilling gold liquid to temper his will of the origin realm. As for eternity, he did not use it. The high-quality eternal ancient gold on his replica body is not enough. Although other replica bodies are still looking for high-quality eternal ancient gold in the ruins on the other side, they can't send it over after all. Therefore, he was prepared to wait until the right moment to use these eternal mother liquids. Years fly by 29. Hundreds of years of the primordial era have passed. At this time, Yi Tian had already used up all the root worm tree marrow, and the Zilling gold liquid had also used up some, and the will of the origin realm had improved a little. This day, Yi Tian is cultivating as usual. Suddenly, the Lord of Ice and Rain called him over. So, he went right away. Lord of Ice Rain, what's the matter? Yi Tian asked. The Lord of Ice Rain said, Lord of the Endless, in the area where the central part of the eternal beyond land and the source Haihei meet, there is a primordial upper realm, which is very powerful, even more powerful than the 3 primordial upper realms of our Fengya Island. The opponent's name is the Lord of Bloody Night, and the real name of the Lord of Bloody Night is Xiao Changye. The strength of the Xiao family he belongs to is not very strong, but this generation also gave birth to a genius of the other side. Not long ago, the Lord of the Bloody Night discovered a special treasure land, and was going to let his other side genius descendant enter it. However, that treasure land is very dangerous, and primordial realm is not allowed to enter. Only some 9 times bone transformation bone level genius guards could be dispatched to protect him, and the Xiao family was this bone level genius who had 9 bone transitions. Therefore, guards can only be recruited from outside. This is an opportunity, the treasure land is very good, and the guards will also get a part of the resources. Therefore, I would like to ask if you would like to go. I'll sign you up if you want. Quote. Willing, Yi Tian said quickly, this is a great opportunity. Not only can you get access to the central part, you can also get resources for free, who wouldn't like it? As for danger, he is copying his body, and he will also fall when he falls, so it doesn't affect anything. Okay, I'll apply to you now. The Lord of Ice and Rain. Subsequently, Yi Tian was waiting for news in his dojo palace. Time flies. After a while, the Lord of Frozen Rain informed him that the application was ready, but he needed to go to the Xiao family to show a little of his strength. Because there are a lot of other level geniuses who applied for this time, but the Lord of Blood Night does not need so many other level geniuses, so some will be eliminated. Lord of Endless, this is the token, just take it with you to the Xiao family, I won't accompany you there. It's not too far from the middle of Fengya Island. You need to pass through an abyss without scale. You can easily pass this leaf with you. Remember, this leaf cannot be plucked, otherwise it will be terrifying. The creatures attack you, and the general genius of the other side of the origin realm can't bear it. Talking, the Lord of Ice Rain gave Yi Tian a strange leaf. Yes, Yi Tian nodded. Subsequently, he took this leaf and set off immediately. Along the way, Yi Tian constantly shuttled, occasionally encountered origin realm creatures, did not entangle with each other, and quickly escaped. His strength is very strong, so the Lord of Ice Rain is very relieved. There may be danger, but the possibility of falling is very low. After a long time, he finally reached the Wugu abyss and blocked his way. The will of the origin realm has been swallowed up by the stainless abyss, and it's really dangerous. He took that strange leaf and quickly flew over the unsullied abyss. Nothing happened, but he knew very well that once he took off this leaf, he was afraid something would happen. After passing through the unsullied abyss, he hurried on his way. Finally, he saw an endless frontier, where is the middle? At this time, a stream of pure energy is transmitted, and it is the energy in the middle. Compared with the energy in the middle, the east is really like a barren land. In a short time, he came to the territory where the Shao family was. Subsequently, with the token given by the Lord of Ice Rain, he successfully came to the Shao family, and was arranged by the Shao family to live in the dojo. Soon after, a origin heavenly ancestor of the Shao family informed Yi Tian of the past. Soon, Yi Tian met the seniors of the Shao family. At the same time, he also met a lot of other level geniuses, and it was estimated that he had come during this period of time. Everyone, I'm the head of the Shao family and the head of the ice cave. I know that you all accepted the tasks issued by our Shao family's 390 ancestors, but if the strength is average, we don't want them. Therefore, according to the requirements of the ancestors, it is necessary to see your strength, and then decide whether to agree with you to accept this task. After the master of the ice cave finished speaking, he let the geniuses from the other side fight against him. Soon, one by one other level geniuses went up and fought against the Lord of Frozen. Time passed slowly. Soon, it was Yi Tian's turn. Go ahead. The main road of the ice cave. Yi Tian directly exploded the golden body of the other shore, as well as the will of the original realm. Boom. After some fights, the master of the ice cave was slightly shocked. Without further ado, he directly agreed with Yi Tian to take this mission. Lord of the Endless, you are waiting in our Shao family. There will probably be a few primordial era before the quest will start. 1. The ice cave master said. Okay. Yi Tian was waiting silently at the Shao family. And these few primordial era time, he did not waste, cultivating here. In the blink of an eye, several primordial era time passed. This day, the Shao family informed him to go there, and also met the other level genius from the Shao family by the way. After he came, he saw a very beautiful woman, who was a genius from the other side of the Shao family.